in 2011, 5 years ago today, but have not won in Columbus since the year 2000. The Buckeyes have been very, very hard to beat here, period. Harbaugh trying to avoid starting 0-2 against the Buckeyes, and Meyer trying to extend it to 5-0. Michigan has not yet arrived at the tunnel. Now they just appear. A team that Jim Harbaugh says will find that sweet spot between being too keyed up but not focused enough. He believes this bunch has the belief necessary to pull this upset today. Harbaugh hasn't been back here since he was a player and guaranteed a Michigan victory, delivering on that in '86. Michigan team that stumbled a couple of weeks ago in their biggest road test until this one at Iowa. Got through in the snow a week ago against Indiana. These Wolverines ready for this. It's a veteran team loaded with seniors who have one final crack at the Buckeyes. You can hear, you can feel the hunger in this group. There's Jabril Peppers, the star of this team that will try to make plays in 3 different phases to help his team win. And the national anthem played by the Ohio State Band. And welcome. Kirk Herbstreit joins me here. Buddy, you have lived the intensity of this rivalry as the son of a captain. As a captain here yourself, you've covered some great ones. Interesting backdrop, high stakes. What will decide this for Ohio State, in your opinion, if they win it?
I think, first of all, maintaining your emotion and allowing those emotions to work for you instead of getting so amped up they can work against you. I've been on that side of it. When I was at Ohio State, it meant so much as a senior to try to knock off Michigan because it'd been a while, and so Michigan has to guard against that. I think, Chris, for Ohio State, honestly, it comes down to their ability to make plays and being aggressive. I think Urban Meyer this year, there have been times when they've opened it up, and there have been times when they've kind of just managed the game. And I think this is a game where he's going to have to be willing to take chances and open some things up and give JT Barrett a chance to be aggressive throwing the football.
And for Michigan, there is intrigue at the quarterback position right down to the final moments. Watching on the field there, you got Wilton Spate. You got, there he is, number 3 there, injured a couple of weeks ago. That shoulder, that left shoulder. He's available, says Harbaugh. John O'Corn out there throwing the ball as well. This would be his 18th start, but just his 2nd at Michigan. Samantha Ponder joins us on the field.
Well, Coach, we talked earlier about the distraction and the hype of all of this, but you know your guys better than anybody. So what's the biggest indicator to you that they can handle it today?
Oh, they've been a good team all year. They're fun to coach. They're guys that when it's time to lock in, they listen and they go.
Coach, you know when it comes to Michigan, he's answering a question. JT's trying to get some info. He tells him that way. All right, one more for you, Coach. Still coaching. You know this Michigan team can run the ball effectively, so what's the key to slowing down their running game tonight?
It's always, can you negate the line of scrimmage? And our defensive line, you know, They've been getting better and better all year, but it's anytime you want to stop the run, you try to get an extra hat in the box, but you got to control line of scrimmage.
Appreciate your time. Thanks, Coach. Chris?
Sam, thank you very much. Talked to Coach Jim Harbaugh pre-kick, asked him the status of Wilton Speight, Chris. He said what you indicated. He's available with a big smile, but maybe more indicative, he worked out with the #1s and the starters for the majority of the warm-ups, throwing 30-yard outs. How he can receive contact with that injured shoulder, an open question. As for the message to his team from Harbaugh, he was simple. What's come before is the regular season. This is a playoff game. That was his message, referencing back to his time in the NFL. Certainly the stakes back that up, Chris.
Thank you. There is Jabril Peppers, who will try to make an impact as a kick returner here. Well, it's going to be very intriguing to see, Kirk, how this Michigan offense operates if Speight comes back in there less than 100%.
43 seniors on this team. I think John O'Korn has to be put in a position to maybe take some early shots on 1st and 10. Last week, 7-16. They can't be one-dimensional and expect to come into Columbus and win this rivalry game.
Buckeyes won the toss. They deferred. We saw Peppers back deep. You see the kickoff of Tyler Durbin. One of the seniors who was just honored here. This will be fun, folks. Let's hope the game lives up to the hype. It's a short kick. Keep it away from Peppers. And it bounces. Got to cover it. And the Wolverines do dive on it at the 22-yard line. And now the answer to the question that's been asked for a couple of weeks as tempers already, Kirk, begin to flare over on that sidelines. Not for the last time.
Peppers right out there.
And there is Speight. So Speight, who went down hard, slammed to the turf in that loss to Iowa. There were reports he had a broken collarbone. That was never confirmed by Michigan. Here he is, Kirk. Not 100%, but throwing pretty well in the warm-up.
And you just heard with Tom Rinaldi saying that O'Korn had taken a lot of the reps with the first unit. This might be, how does Wilton Speight, especially if he gets hit, how does he react? But you gain all that experience that they lost last week when O'Korn went out and played against Indiana.
From the I formation, Davion Smith. Out of Warren, Ohio, who promises to run hard and run angry today against the guys from his home state.
You know, the battle in the trenches, anytime Ohio State and Michigan get together, when the dust settles and this game's over, you'll look back on both sides of the ball and say, how did things go there? And of course, now Speight, interesting that he now checks out, and that's where you get Jabril Peppers now. We knew the Wildcat was coming more tonight than any time all year.
Peppers joined by Smith to his right on 2nd and 5. Barges up the middle and shows the acceleration. We'll see him making plays at a variety of positions, perhaps as many as 10 today.
And they get their first down, and Speight comes now back into the game. And again, Jim Harbaugh is an innovative, kind of an outside-the-box type of thinker when it comes to the offensive side of the football. And he knows that this battle and being on the road with the way his offense has looked the last 2 weeks at Iowa and then last week Indiana, got to have some wrinkles and do some things that they have not done in recent weeks.
They fake it from the pocket, flips it short. Jake Butt, the All-American tight end candidate, is running free up near midfield for another first down before Marshawn Lattimore drove him out.
Well, Ohio State actually ends up bringing a blitz here. On the left, you'll see the linebacker. See, he gets picked up, actually gets by the freshman, Bredenson, and hits Speight for the first time. But because the linebacker came on the blitz, it's a nice big hole there in the zone. Nobody's there to pick up Jake Butt, who's one of the top targets on the Michigan offense.
And a big matchup concern today for that Ohio State defense. Diving across the 50-yard line is Davion Smith. 750 rushing yards, 10 touchdowns this year. The impact players, Kirk.
Yeah, you can always look at Davion Smith, but I think Chris Evans gives him big playability. Jake Butt, who's already seen one of the leaders on this team, who's from the Columbus area. And for Ohio State, Raekwon McMillan, his kind of game against the run, he'll have to have an impact. And when Michigan throws, especially on 3rd down, number 59, Tyquan Lewis can really get after the quarterback.
7.5 sacks. He wants to test that shoulder of Speight, and there's a false start before the snap, which will put Michigan behind the chains here on 2nd down.
False start. Offense. Number 88. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Not easy for an offensive line in this environment.
Michigan, taking this football and his first drive, just doing enough to make the Ohio State defense, which is in this stadium, in a rivalry game with all this hype, they are playing very, very emotional. But Michigan slowed them down with a variety of different formations, personnel groupings, making Ohio State have to reassess and have to think. And it's put Michigan more in an aggressive mindset.
And 2nd and 11. Spate rolls out, fires far side, short completion there to Amara Darbo, his top target on the edge. Lattimore made the tackle. It'll be 3rd down.
Pull him out, moving the launch point. Wilton Spate, he is a big man, but you can see he's comfortable on the move. It's an accurate throw, well-designed play. It's another easy throw, easy read here early. Great group of wide receivers by Michigan. Darbo is one of the receivers that eventually they'll try to get the ball downfield. A senior who has great athletic ability and great speed.
Ohio State's been a tremendous 3rd down defense. Wolverines need 4 to keep this opening drive alive. Spate protection, delivers a low throw, incomplete. Buck tried to go down and get it, but it hit the carpet. And it's 4th down.
He settled right between the 2 linebackers, Raekwon McMillan and Jerome Baker. He does a nice job settling there. The ball is just thrown a little bit low. So Ohio State brought pressure there, and that may have affected the accuracy of the throw there. Looked like the young freshman, Nick Bosa, got the pressure.
But one of the last guys you'd expect to drop a pass in a big situation. So Kenny Allen, veteran punter, is out there, and Curtis Samuel has now taken over as the punt returner for Ohio State. Makes the fair catch at the 7-yard line. And in a game that figures to feature field position.
The junior for Ohio State, J.T. Barrett, already has a couple games against Michigan back in 2014. Big day running the ball. But remember, that's the game. Late in the game, he ended up breaking his right ankle. Got taken out. See Devin Gardner over top of him, actually saying a few encouraging words. And then last year, another big game on his feet. Ran for 3 touchdowns. So in the last 2 years, he's run for 5 touchdowns. His legs have been more of a factor than his arm.
And Barrett hands it off to Curtis Samuel, who gets the edge, and the guy from Brooklyn shows his quicks and makes a 1st down, stopped by Damonte Thomas.
They've got a great block from Noah Brown on a crack block, which opened up the edge and got Curtis Samuel, who was a featured guy today. Ohio State wants to get him as many as 25 touches. At the time he got the edge and got some big yards, but a great block by Noah Brown.
Some hesitation. Barrett waits a long time, sometimes before handing it or keeping it, and Samuel that time swallowed up after just a short gain.
Boy, we've talked all year about Don Brown, the defensive coordinator from Michigan, and the aggressive scheme that he has brought, and they are trying to push the line of scrimmage back. They lead the nation in tackles for a loss, but they've not seen a mobile quarterback in a long time.
Barrett throwing for the first time in the tight window there. Noah Brown makes the catch and muscles out near the 40, another 1st down.
Nice job here. Ohio State going tempo here. They want to get the aggressive Michigan defense on their heels. Good sign for Ohio State here early. An accurate throw and rhythmic throw from J.T. Barrett. We've not seen a lot of that to start games in recent weeks.
First carry for Mike Weber. And the Michigan native comes out of that powerhouse Cass Technical High School in Detroit, which features 7 players in today's game.
Incredible. You know, he is amped up to go against some of his former teammates.
They've been getting an Ohio native making the tackle there.
Yeah. That's what makes this rivalry so unique. A lot of these guys know each other from back in their high school days.
Barrett, this is his first keeper of the afternoon, not the last, and he moves the 6 again out near midfield. A guy who has gained 831 rushing yards this year before you factor in the sacks.
Boy, what an aggressive defense there, flying downhill. But how about the second effort there by J.T. Barrett? That effort's what picked up the 1st down.
Barrett now from midfield, a 1st down throw, incomplete. Buckeye crowd now gets a late flag. Noah Brown was covered by Channon Stribling. Both guys hit the deck.
Well, Noah Brown was trying to work to the outside, and Stribling would not let him. He wrapped him up, and once the ball was in the air, the official was right there. Now they're going to talk about it to see maybe if the ball was in fact in the air.
Dan Capron heading this Big Ten crew.
How physical this is. Noah Brown trying to get to the outside.
Holding.
Yeah.
Defense. 10-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Penalty on Stribling, one of the fine corners on this team. Jordan Lewis on the opposite side. They've been able to lock down receivers.
Ohio State's about matchups. And right now, Jordan Lewis, the top corner, one of the top in the country, is in the slot. They're going to try to keep him with Curtis Samuel, the biggest threat from Ohio State. Ohio State may be looking other areas to try to attack some potential matchups that they think are favorable.
Buckeyes have already moved the ball 52 yards in 5 plays. Weber motions back in. Barrett keeps it, escapes. JT Barrett into the secondary, lowers the head, moves down to the 20.
Chris, watch with the action here. Look at the linebacker flow. A great read and feel of the defense by JT Barrett. As soon as they saw action, the zone read, they went with Weber. The linebackers took off. Barrett recognized that, pulled it out, and with the man coverage, he had a lot of room to run.
Ohio State respectful of Michigan's defense, but ultimately unimpressed by all those stats that they've been piling up because they haven't faced us yet. Buckeyes test the middle. Weber finds very little. Number 1 in scoring defense, pass defense, third down defense. They've created more negative plays than anyone, but this was a defense that got chewed up by Ohio State a year ago.
You're right, and Ohio State feels very confident in their scheme. Again, early in this game, you want to see one-on-one matchups, and I think Ohio State's moving a lot of players around, a lot of pre-snap movement to try to create the one-on-one matchup that they want.
Samuel on the pop pass, tries to get the corner, cuts it back. That was well defended, strung out. And Taco Charlton, the defensive end, messed it up. It'll be 3rd and long.
Yeah, his penetration comes right through here. But watch the flow and the speed of the Michigan defense. Watch how fast they get out there. So Charlton does a good job, but the rest of those white jerseys are out there also.
Playing fast on 3rd down. Barrett from the pocket buys time, rolling. And now will get knocked out of bounds at the line of scrimmage by Stribling, the man that committed the penalty. And Ohio State's drive will stall. Here comes a field goal.
They flushed him from the pocket. That was Ryan Glasgow who got him out of the pocket. And once he had to move to his right, instead of having 4 receivers to try to find an open man, he goes off to his right, and everybody was covered. He only had 1 receiver to try to look for. Great coverage and good pressure that time by the Michigan defense.
The 1 miss for Durbin this year. That fateful block by Penn State returned for a touchdown. That was the decisive play in Happy Valley. He's not missed inside 40, but the pressure of the game can mess with the mind. And the reliable senior kicker pulls it wide left. Ohio State, an impressive 72-yard march, but they come up empty.
So both defenses end up coming up in these opening drives with stops after both offenses had some success. So we got no points.
Yeah, he just hooked it from the start. Urban says, dadgummit. Meyer 4-0 against the Wolverines. 2nd possession for Michigan from the 20. Again, it's Wilton Spate at quarterback. Davion Smith picks his way for a short gain. Raekwon McMillan and Damon Webb stopped him.
Jim Harbaugh has his Woody Hayes glasses on. I mentioned that when he came out with the specs look.
Among other people he was paying a tribute to.
Yeah.
Malcolm X.
Yeah.
We like characters in the sport.
No doubt.
Got 2 of them here. Aaron Higdon is the back now in the I formation behind the fullback, and he flipped it short. This is Butt, and he was well guarded right there. Knocked down quickly by Jerome Baker, the linebacker. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Well, when Jim Harbaugh is going to that 3 tight end look, big physical offensive line with 3 tight ends. What Luke Fickell has done in his adjustment is he's getting a corner, a smaller body off the field, and bringing a 4th linebacker. So essentially a 4-down lineman, 4 linebacker look with Joe Berger into the football game.
Michigan has not been a terribly efficient offense from this distance on third down so far this season. Spate. They block the pressure complete. And off and running is Grant Perry out near midfield. So they came after him, but Spate got it out in a hurry.
You think Jake Butt would be an option, but he goes here, which opens up a nice throwing lane for Spate, for Grant Perry, who gets away from Ohio State's top cover man in Gary Conley. See the eyes of Spate locked in. Crucial third down here early in this game, and there's the accuracy that Michigan needs.
Yeah, 21 yards there in 3rd and 5. Now it's Peppers in the game at quarterback. Hands it off. He was a high school quarterback in New Jersey. He can throw the ball as well as run it. Hasn't had that yet this year. It's definitely in the playbook.
Now that zone read is a different look. A lot of times you would see just an athletic guy and a wildcat come back there predetermine what to do, like just a natural quarterback runner, just hand it off. He's actually reading that, which goes back to his high school days. And I'm telling you, at some point today, he's going to throw the football from the wildcat package.
Higdon on the left side. This is the kind of game, we've seen it over the years, when a normally conservative coach will pull out all the stops, especially if Harbaugh thinks he needs to today.
And I think that Jim Harbaugh and Urban Meyer are the kind of coaches that have such respect for this game and what it takes to win it, that you save a few things for this game in a crucial moment in this game. And we're going to see that from both sides.
4 defensive ends in the game for Ohio State. They call themselves the Rushmen on 3rd and 7. Spate gets protection, incomplete, delivered in traffic. Falling down was Darbo, and it'll be 4th down. Harbaugh looking for the flag, doesn't see one.
Yeah, he was frustrated because Darbo, who was coming across, he got caught up with a couple Ohio State defenders. Watch on the outside with Lattimore. You can see the physical push.
Oh my goodness.
Grabs him and throws him down. That was the reaction.
It was right in front of the bench.
Yeah, right. Exactly right. I mean, that's one thing to be at the line of scrimmage, but continuing downfield, balls in the air, surprised there was not a call.
It's a big missed call on 3rd down, and now Allen to punt it away. Samuel again calling fair catch. It'll bounce, and again roll dead inside the 10-yard line. So 2 possessions, both a very poor field position for Ohio State. Still scoreless in Columbus.
Mystique and anticipation of this battle in this era of Harbaugh and Urban Meyer.
Ohio State takes over at the 11, a keeper by Barrett. The ball hit Brandon Watson, who was down covering the punt. So the Wolverines punt team didn't get the down at the 5. Ohio State taking over, but still backed up again.
They sure are, and running the football more with J.T. Barrett, but still going tempo.
Barrett delivers far side. Marcus Baugh, the tight end, trying to escape. He gets only to the 15. It'll be 3rd and 6.
Well, Michigan has done it all year, and they're not going to get away from who they are. It's the DNA of their defense. They ask their defensive linemen to get penetration, be able to slip a gap. Linebackers are fighting downhill, and look at these corners. They're walked up to the line of scrimmage.
Barrett has good protection for a time, and now is dropped. Michigan with the 37th sack of the season. That's Ryan Glasgow.
What they're able to do is blitz you, bring pressure, linebackers, safeties, and then they lock you up on the outside. And their feeling is, we're going to get to you with our pressure before your receivers can get away from our coverage. And that's exactly what they did, especially on 3rd down. You're looking at the best 3rd down defense in the country, and it's because of their pressure package that they bring you.
Peppers trying to do what Desmond did. Charles Woodson did. The only 2 Wolverines take a punt back for a touchdown against Ohio State, but it's so tough to return the punt. So the senior from Australia, Cam Johnston, only 11 of his punts have been returned all season long. That's why he's one of the best in the country at that position. Tomorrow, 10 o'clock on ESPN, NFL Insiders. All the fantasy updates, all those breaking stories, right to Sunday NFL Countdown at 11, up to kickoff, and then a Monday Night Football. The Packers and the Eagles in Philadelphia. Countdown begins at 6 o'clock, kickoff at 8:15, also on the Watch ESPN app. The ability of Johnston to help nullify poor field position, so huge.
Well, and it has that feeling that it's going to be a field position game. Turnovers and special teams could go a long way in determining who ends up winning this game.
52 yards on that punt. Wolverines from their 37. It's Darbo in motion. Spate looks back to the near side and delivers a strike. And the catch is made by J.U. Chesson, the senior.
He threw that ball right on the break. There's the relationship that they missed last week between Spate and his receivers.
How impressive has he been in the early going, Spate, by the way, given all the intrigue about would he be able to go today?
Yeah, but it's just the mindset. He looks so well prepared. He knows where to go with the ball before the ball actually gets into his hands on the snap.
Smith, Corral, McMillan, and Jalen Holmes drop him for a short loss. Samantha?
Yeah, Kirk, to your point on Spate, the Ohio State defense noticed the same thing. That's what they were talking about on the bench, how quickly they were getting the ball out, saying we've got to get to him quicker, but be careful because if we start getting to him, they're going to get it out quick and try and take a deep shot down the field.
Now the Wolverines playing with some tempo on third down.
Ohio State had 12 men on the field. Little confusion with the tempo from Michigan and Jim Harbaugh. Robert Landers, the freshman, was trying to run off the field, and they caught it.
That's a wrinkle, Kirk. Strategic tempo. We don't often see that from Michigan.
That's right.
And to do it in 3rd and 2, no less.
There is no foul on the play. The play results in a first down.
They picked the flag up, but Smith did gain sufficient yardage.
There's a miscommunication. Then they played with 10, but Landers was running off the field there, thinking that they had too many on the field.
Spade from the pocket delivers a nice throw into a tight window again to Grant Perry. Picks up 9.
And I love to see in a game where you think about the two teams running the football, who's going to have better success throwing. I love that Jim Harbaugh is putting Spade in 1st and 10 passes. That's the time you want to try to attack a defense. And so far, that's what he's given him. And you can see the rhythm and the confidence that Spade has and the open windows that he has to throw in.
Hand off to the fullback, the short yardage specialist, enough to get the first down. Khalid Hill, who has 9 touchdowns on his 22 carries coming into the game. Barely gets a yard a carry, but you can call him the hammering panda. That time he does move the sticks.
Or the vulture. He goes down and everybody, all these running backs do all the work. They get inside the 5-yard line. They hand it to the big fella. What has he got? 9 touchdowns on the year.
His long run was 4 yards, by the way. And first down, Spate, straight back, lofts it, but goes up high, collects it, and makes the catch inside the red zone. Again, that matchup problem for Ohio State.
Yeah, and not only a matchup concern, it's the call. 1st and 10. Ohio State's thinking tendencies show run. Watch Damon Webb, who would have him see play action. When he sees action, he's completely out of position. His eyes are in the backfield instead of on the man that he should be covering, which is Jake Butt.
22 yards there. He's 7 of 9 now.
That's the 3rd time they've thrown the ball on 1st and 10 on this drive alone.
On the end around. He handed off to Chesson and tries to cut back, and another little wrinkle there. That's a play that's hurt Ohio State at times this season.
Yeah, it sure has. We called a game in Madison against Wisconsin. In that first half, Wisconsin had a lot of success being able to get to the edge with that jet sweep look. We saw R.J. Shelton last week from Michigan State have a few chances to be able to get wide on Ohio State. Not only does it give you a lot of yards, it plants a seed in the Ohio State defense that is a threat, and it opens up other opportunities in your play calling.
Smith slipped when he made the cut. Has to fight hard near first down yardage. Jerome Baker stopped him.
The Ohio State inside linebackers, Jerome Baker and Raekwon McMillan, they are going to be tested. Another first down for Michigan. They are going to be tested with the physicality of this football game.
It'll be the final play of a hard-fought first quarter. Michigan's had the better of the field position. Ohio State missed a field goal, but we are scoreless at the end of 1 in Columbus. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. 54 yards in 8 plays. Most of the game has been played in the Ohio State end so far. Empty backfield on 1st and goal. Spate quickly back, loops it for the end zone. A one-on-one battle, but against Damon Webb, the safety, no chance to make a play.
That is a favorable matchup for Michigan with Bud at 6'6", 250 pounds, and Damon Webb, athletic, former corner, now playing safety this year, 5'10", and 195 pounds. Right away, they try to throw the football on 1st and 10 and go right after that matchup.
But one of the many Ohioans on this roster from the powerhouse of Pickerington. Chris Evans, the true freshman you mentioned, Kirk, he's now the tailback in the eye on 2nd and down, and he's got the ball, and he's going to have to escape and fight hard to get to the 5-yard line. There was very quick penetration there by Sam Hubbard, but Evans did well to get away.
Yeah, Sam Hubbard does a good job of getting off of the blocks. But the reason I brought Evans up is because Davion Smith is more physical, but the playmaking ability of the true freshman Evans is really what they need today.
Peppers comes into the game on this 3rd and goal. Red zone opportunities. Will they decide this game as they have so many others in this series? Peppers at quarterback. Keeps it. Tries to get the edge. Jabril Peppers knocked down for a loss. Again, it was Hubbard blowing the play up, and it's 4th down.
Chris, you're right. Hooker ends up getting the tackle, but keep in mind Sam Hubbard is 6'5", 265 pounds, out in space against one of the most electric players in the country. Doesn't go for the fake to the inside, keeps his outside shoulder upfield, and gets enough of Peppers to allow Hooker to eventually come in and clean it up. Nice play by Hubbard.
So it's Kenny Allen, who struggled a bit early in the season, but has made 10 in a row. A chip shot from 28. And he knocks it straight through right off of the flagpole, which is in dead center in the goalpost there. You don't get extra points for that. Michigan will take the 3, and they draw first blood in Columbus. I actually know that.
Yeah.
Is that too easy for us in a big game?
Yeah, I mean,
you do one, I'll do the other.
This is one of those weeks where he was playing with the San Diego Chargers.
Urban was a wide receiver coach at Notre Dame.
It was Jim Harbaugh's last year in the NFL. This is one of
Team
those
effort. We swamped the Bear. We routed the Bear today.
Finally.
Allen drives the kickoff deep, and there will be no return. Lands 5 yards out of the end zone. All right, Mr. Falika, give us validation, confirmation.
To officially answer that Affleck trivia question, we asked you what jobs did Urban Meyer and Jim Harbaugh hold in the 2000 football season? 2 for 2. Jim Harbaugh, quarterback of the San Diego Chargers, went 1-15 that year. Urban Meyer, wide receiver coach at Notre Dame, who wound up in the Fiesta Bowl that year and lost to Oregon State.
Oh my God!
You mentioned the 1-15. He slipped that in there. That was a rough season to call it quits on.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
15 years in the NFL, and a quick turnaround artist wherever he has been in coaching, from San Diego to Stanford to the 49ers, and now of course here in Michigan.
Remember, Ohio State in their first possession had better field position, a lot of tempo, and really an aggressive mindset. Last time they had the ball, they kind of shut it down, being pinned back deep inside their own territory.
3 and out last time. They went 72 yards before missing the field goal on their opening possession. And this is the best starting field position they've had. Barrett, option look. Samuel hit in the backfield and dropped for a loss. That was Jordan Lewis, the All-American corner, making a play.
First, look at the depth of this Michigan defense. They are attacking the line of scrimmage. And until Ohio State has an ability to stretch this defense, look at this. There's nowhere, even when option football, there's nowhere to go because there's so many white jerseys up close to the line.
2nd and 15, it's Weber muscling, but he is shoved out of bounds aggressively by Ben Gideon for no gain. And now Ohio State faces 3rd and real long.
See, right now, Don Brown doesn't fear the vertical pass, so he tightens up the line of scrimmage, and he says, we got to take away quarterback run, and we got to take away the horizontal threat of the most dynamic player they have, Curtis Samuel. You take that away, Ohio State has to come up with an answer, throwing the ball more downfield.
Buckeyes 0 for 2 on 3rd down, need 14 here. Barrett from the pocket, tries to spin free. Stays alive, fires from the sidelines into heavy traffic. Brown was double covered by Peppers there, and it's 4th down. Maurice Hurst Jr. was chasing the quarterback with Chris Wormley, and there's a Wolverine down.
This is the luxury for Michigan and Don Brown. Instead of always having to blitz, you see you can get pressure with 4. This time it's Hurst who ends up eventually getting to J.T. Barrett. And then there's the wide receivers. Nobody open downfield, even when J.T. Barrett tries to create and pull out to extend the play.
Ryan Glasgow, Kirk, got hit on a blindside block there, and the veteran up front there making his 32nd start today is being attended to. Chance to check in with Cassidy Hubbard in the studio. Hi, Cassidy. Cassidy thanks Harbaugh to check on Glasgow, who's able to walk off. Very important part of that interior defensive line for the Wolverines, Kirk. But Michigan, again, very effective on 3rd down.
Ohio State, they've had 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8, and 3rd and 15. That's exactly what Michigan wants. And Ohio State, with their offense and with their struggles at times in passing the football, they need to stay on schedule with an athletic quarterback. Those 3rd and 2s and 3rd and 4s. Last couple drives playing right into the hands of what Michigan needs to do defensively.
Once again, Cam Johnston, the Ray Guy Award finalist, called on to flip field position. The last punt was his 14th of 50+ yards this year. Gets it away. It's a low boot. Peppers will have a chance. Fields it at the 30. Peppers trying to escape and kind of moves back into traffic and is knocked down after a short gain at the 34-yard line. Michigan takes over, up by 3 early 2nd quarter. There's Desmond Howard with his sons there. 0-2-1 with that punt return for a touchdown against the Buckeyes with a beautiful call by Keith Jackson. Hello, Heisman. A quarter century ago this year. Can you believe that? 25 years ago.
I cannot believe it's been that long. Michigan's had 9 first downs. They've thrown on 5 of them. Talked all week about Jim Harbaugh needing to break tendencies, and he sure has done that here in this first half.
And Spade has been very sharp. It's another first down attempt from the pocket. He delivers a high strike there. Kekoa Crawford, the true freshman, goes up and makes just his 4th catch of the season.
Football obviously is a game about adjustments. Ohio State staff more than likely thinking John O'Korn would be out here playing. They've seen a team that's been very conservative the last couple weeks, even at Iowa on the road when they had Spade, to now they look like a different team. They look like the team they looked like before the Iowa game, where they're much more aggressive and confident with their play calling.
Roll out on 2nd and 6. Spade delivers an accurate throw, and that's Chessa knocked out of bounds. They'll be short of a marker. Harbaugh told me a couple weeks ago that he's really only the 3rd play caller, that Tim Drebno makes most of the calls. Jed Fish makes a bunch, and Harbaugh is 3rd. I don't get the feeling today that he's the 3rd play caller in this offense. Look at him.
Look at him. Unless he's taking calls from his 2 other coaches, he seems pretty hands-on today.
The boss seems very, very invested in the play calling today. They need 4 in this 3rd down. And that's an incompletion. They're all over, but that time he was extremely well covered by Chris Worley, the linebacker. 4th down.
Yeah. Worley, as an athlete, can stay with him. He's out here. He'll work with him. He actually takes away the angle, takes away the throwing opportunity because of the tight coverage. There's nowhere Will Spade could throw it except try to throw it low and away where Butt might have a chance. But just a good job of anticipating there by Chris Worley, the junior out of Cleveland.
First 3 and out Ohio State's defense has been able to force, and Kenny Allen, who handles all the kicking duties, delivers a very high punt. Bounces beautifully for that coverage team, and once again J.T. Barrett and Ohio State will be pinned back at the 4.
Huge part of this game, we talked about on the open, is going to be field position, special teams, and turnovers. Another great job by Michigan here.
Will they break out of their play calling shell backed up? Haven't so far. Predictable, but often very effective quarterback keeper. Barrett able to muscle for just a couple yards, and Peppers was in on the tackle.
And Peppers said this week, we're going to hit him, and we're going to hit him hard. We're going to see how he responds, because he hasn't been hit the way he'll be hit by a Michigan defense.
He's a great way of avoiding direct hits, doesn't he?
He sure does.
He's a sturdy guy, but nobody really seems to lower the boom on him.
No. I think it's his running style, and he just has that innate ability to avoid that big collision.
From the pocket, slant high off the hand of Samuel. That was airmail by JT. A little too much adrenaline, and it's 3rd and long again.
I think there's a tendency with the way this game has started that when you get a big chance and a big opportunity, he hurried his throw and affected his accuracy. He's got him wide open to our left, to his right. I mean, wide open. You talk about getting separation. Finally, an Ohio State receiver, that's the matchup they want. Curtis Samuel against Thomas. He was open, but I think because he's standing on his own goal line, he hurries the throw, and it affects his accuracy.
Empty backfield. The Wolverines not showing pressure on this 3rd down. They rush 4. Barrett gets it out, and the catch is made that time by Dontre Wilson, who's been trying to fight through an injury. He's short. Now we're going to spot him where he caught the ball. So it is a 1st down at the 15.
Surprised that Michigan gave the cushion to Ohio State's Dontre Wilson. They've had such success getting up into the face of the Ohio State receivers, making them work to get open. This time, Dontre Wilson, nobody takes him at the line of scrimmage. He's able to settle right at the 1st down marker and try to lean across to get it.
Just was able to twist free and break the plane there. So Ohio State converts for the 1st time on 3rd down today. Samuel's in the backfield, goes in motion. Barrett looking the other direction, is chased, but gets it around over the middle to Brown, who's knocked down. Another 1st down across the 25.
Great job of sticking with this throw by JT Barrett. Watch how he wants to initially make this throw to the right. Right there, he's already open, but instead of giving up on it, he continues to let the receiver work. And dangerous throw late over the middle, but there was such room there. He makes the right call to give Noah Brown a chance for the throw.
Brown, a big physical target at about 220 pounds. Barrett chased, sacked for a 2nd time. Taco Charlton, the senior, came off the edge, his 7th of the season.
The center, Pat Elflein, has to work all the way out here to try to stop Charlton, who's one of the better pass rushers in the Big Ten. These guys are both from Pickerington, a suburb here in the Columbus area. That gives you an idea. Taco Charlton, 6'6", 275 pounds, and a big athlete.
There now, batted down at the line by Maurice Hurst Jr. The Michigan front, which has been so imposing all season long, having its way so far.
Well, the last 2 plays they sure have. You saw the rush by Charlton, and this time Hurst, who I think might be the best athlete up front, especially in the interior. He's had to battle through some injuries throughout his career. 6'2", 282 pounds. They've been using him on twists. That was another twist, and good recognition to time up when to get his hand up and knock that ball down.
What can Barrett produce here on 3rd and 16? Gets good protection. Flips it off short. Tried to get it to Samuel. He was well covered there. Not an easy matchup for a linebacker, Mike McCray, but he did a good job that time. 4th down.
Obviously, it's going to be tough for Ohio State to try to get those chances. But Paris Campbell, this is going to be something they're going to want to look back on. Ohio State needing to get the ball thrown downfield. This time, I don't know if it's a broken coverage. If he would have been able to recognize him and just put that ball up in the air, Paris Campbell, who might be their fastest receiver, had a chance to get behind the coverage.
Cam Johnson's been busy. This time the Aussie kicks it with backspin. Peppers makes the fair catch at the 40-yard line, but a tale of field position in this 1st half. The field very much tilted in favor of the maize and blue. They'll take over at the 40. Position for most of these drives, unlike Ohio State. And Spate has been sharp. Chris Evans, the freshman, has to dodge traffic in the backfield. Gets away from McMillan, but he sort of blew the play up.
Raekwon McMillan is the leader, kind of the glue of that defense. Has been facing so many spread attacks. This is a game where he welcomes the challenge of how Michigan runs the football right at him, and he's going to have to come up with a bunch of tackles today if Ohio State's going to continue to play well on defense.
Peppers back in the game. Kirk lined up with the Wildcat quarterback on 2nd and 9. He's yet to make an impact play on offense. And we'll run it right up into traffic. Ohio State's been preparing for what they've seen and what they haven't seen from Michigan involving number 5.
It's almost as if Jim Harbaugh is setting something up for later down the road with Jabril Peppers. It's almost as if he's baiting them into thinking, run with 5, run with 5. And at some point, Jim Harbaugh is going to put that same look in, and he's going to go back to Peppers and ask him to throw the football.
That had the feel of kind of a throwaway play, and it sets up 3rd and 7 for Spate. There's the train formation, spotted on tape from a high school in Colorado. They try to keep the defense guessing in terms of the personnel. Spate chased immediately and hit, knocked down for the first time. Jerome Baker on the sack. And number 3, nursing that sore left shoulder, goes to the ground for the first time.
We keep talking about Michigan blitzing on 3rd down. Ohio State moves the nose guard, shoots Baker up the middle, and the right guard, Kalis, does not do a good job of recognizing that and coming down. It's a bust in the middle of that offensive line, and it's a good call by Luke Fickell to time that up on 3rd down. Spate didn't have a chance.
You could see Kirk, the quarterback, try to protect himself, turning his back to the tackler, keep that left shoulder protected, and you don't want to take too many shots like that. He's a tough guy, but you know, that shoulder cannot be 100% right. So Ohio State's defense forcing the 2nd consecutive 3-and-out. The question remains what it was coming in. What about this Ohio State offense that at times, and against Penn State, last week against Michigan State in the snow, has struggled?
I think everything has as much to do with the field position early in this game as anything. Urban Meyer has had a tendency all year with this offense that when he gets backed up inside his own territory, he gets ultra conservative. And I think their average starting field position is their own 12-yard line. It's had a lot to do with how they have called the game. And give Michigan and Jim Harbaugh a lot of credit. They have decided to be much more aggressive, better field position, but with Wilton Spate. But I told you it's a game of adjustments. Luke Fickell and the Ohio State defense, after the first couple drives, they've seemed to settle down, and now they're getting after Spate in this Michigan offense. Kind of this low-scoring field. Keep talking about it.
We've seen this before, haven't we?
Yeah.
Kenny Allen has been terrific. He just gets this punt up in the jet stream. Look at that thing. This time it bounces into the end zone, so Ohio State will be very happy not to be pinned back inside their 10-yard line. To Tom Rinaldi.
Chris, Wilton Spate came off. He shooed away anyone trying to pay any attention to him for the first big hit he's really taken in this game. Picked up the phone to talk to the coaches upstairs and let loose a stream of expletives to give you an idea of just how invested he is. Frustrated at the lack of protection there, but certainly invested and seems to be solid after taking that first big hit.
And Samantha, you've got an update on injury on the Ohio State offensive side.
Yeah, JT Barrett obviously looking for guys to get separation. One of the reasons he may not be getting that is Marcus Baugh playing hurt. A couple drives ago, he injured that right ankle on that busted option play. He's definitely nowhere near 100%, something to keep an eye on.
He sure is, because he can be a very effective athletic receiver and a matchup problem.
Where has Curtis Samuel been?
Weber has to break free. It's a nice first down game, but you're right. The playmaker, the top receiver on this team by far.
Yeah, only 3 carries so far and only 1 reception for 1 yard. You know, Ohio State's at some point they're going to dial him up. Right now they've got him in the slot.
Feed Weber again. He's going to be stopped a yard short of the first down. Ryan Monet, defensive tackle, made the play.
That ball injury that Sammy just reported on is not only big in him trying to get separation and be a factor in the pass game, but also he is a very important part of being able to try to control that defensive line of Michigan's and being able to run the football.
Finally, though, this is what Urban Meyer hoped for.
Exactly.
3rd and short.
Yeah.
Weber, though, hits behind the line and drops. Monet, back-to-back big plays for that Wolverine front. It's 4th down.
Boy, they go just attacked Isaiah Prince, the right tackle from Ohio State. What a good job by Monet Watch him just push Prince right back into the backfield. Right there, 59, right in the middle of the screen. He makes that play single-handedly by just getting off the ball, getting low, and having that leg drive.
Harbaugh's defense comes up big again on 3rd and short. Johnston gets the punt away. They run into him, and here comes a flag. And that will produce a first down. Even if it's not a personal foul, 5 yards would be enough to put Ohio State's offense back on the field. Mike McCray, the linebacker, ran into him pretty good.
Running into the kicker. Defense, number 9. The 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Was that the other number 9? Yeah, Grant Perry, the receiver.
That's always fun, right?
Let's get framed to the proper guy.
Yeah, Perry tried to kind of slow himself down. He's on the edge there, but he just literally can't stop himself. Runs right into the punter, and he knew right away. Keeps this drive alive for Ohio State after the big stop by Brian Monet there on 3rd down and short.
Buckeyes have run 25 plays, gained 82 yards, Kirk. Barely 3 yards a play. Looking for Samuel. There he is in the slot to the right. Barrett's looking to his left and misfires for Marcus Baugh. JT, what do you diagnose as the issue for him so far throwing the ball?
I think it's a variety of things. I think it's a group effort. It's pass protection. It's the receivers being able to get into their matchups one-on-one and be able to win. And the other thing is it's just him settling down. I think he's a bit just uncomfortable right now with the plan and with his accuracy. He looks like he's rushing. He doesn't look like he's in rhythm at all as a passer at this point.
Barrett 5 for 10 for just 40 yards. And trying to get Samuel on the edge, but Ben Gideon sniffed it out. Another 3rd and long for this offense.
Ben Gideon sniffs it out, but Mike McCray contained the play and forced it back to the inside. I'm telling you, Don Brown has these guys dialed in. He basically told us this week, listen, they've got number 25 and number 4 and number 16. If we do a job on those 3, we're going to win this game. Make somebody else besides Curtis Samuel, Mike Weber, and JT Barrett beat you.
And it's important if Baugh is ailing, as the tight end is a guy that could make a play. On 3rd and 9 now, Barrett from the pocket delivers again, looking for Samuel. Incomplete. That time it was Delano Hill, the safety, who drew that assignment. And here comes another punt.
Another miscommunication. This passing game of Ohio State. Samuel eventually works across here, but JT Barrett, I think, is the receiver and the quarterback have to be on the same page. He's expecting Samuel to continue to work across. Samuel's working back to the quarterback. Bit of a miscommunication. Pretty tight coverage there by Hill as well.
Pepper's involved in coverage. Now back to receive this punt from Johnston. Wolverines don't get near him this time. This is an excellent kick. Peppers watches it go over his head. Lays a hit on one of the coverage guys, but Ohio State, their turn to pin Michigan deep as Johnston does what he has all season long. 4:10 before halftime, and the Wolverines will go back to work up by 3 as we take a look at tonight's AT&T Inside Access. And this is one of the features of this rivalry, the countdown clock. It starts at 3:65. It will tonight, and this was in the final day yesterday.
Yeah, it's always been important to both these programs, and you've seen Urban Meyer and even Jim Tressel started that with the countdown clock, a year-round countdown clock. And Michigan, the same emphasis with Jim Harbaugh.
Would Bo and Woody love this? We've seen some excellent punting both sides so far.
This
61 yards.
This is a Bo and Woody kind of game right now.
Davion Smith lined up in his end zone. They fake it to him. Spate gets the throw away. Intercepted. And another pick 6 for the Ohio State defense. Malik Hooker just walks in.
Boy, a gutsy call by Jim Harbaugh. Play action pass, which has worked most this game, but this time back deep into his own territory. And Ohio State brought pressure. They brought their linebackers, so Hooker comes up with a pick with his eyes on the ball. But the 2 linebackers, Baker and Raekwon McMillan, caused it.
6th pick for Hooker leads the team, and their 7th pick 6 of the season. 3rd for him. McMillan provided the pressure, and just like that, Ohio State, after a pretty dismal first half offensively, takes the lead with the defensive touchdown.
They bring the 2 linebackers. Baker's already walked up. McMillan's who ends up getting to the quarterback. But watch the running back in Smith and how unclear he is and what to do here. Ends up getting the pressure. Hooker's right here with his eyes on the quarterback. The ball just goes up in the air. And there's Hooker, who's been doing it all year. It's his 3rd interception for a touchdown, 7th for Ohio State this year. And again, we talked at the beginning, special teams, turnover margin, that's what ultimately is going to decide this game. And the Buckeyes capture a huge break here.
So a risky call by Harbaugh in Michigan backfires. McMillan got there. LeBron and his Cavalier teammates dancing down there in the end zone. This is his first experience in Columbus for this rivalry. It's a bucket list day for LeBron.
The Cavs are always clowning around, whether it's their celebration or here in Columbus now watching the Buckeyes.
They watched the guy score a touchdown. He was a tremendous basketball player. Basketball was Hooker's first sport, and he probably could have been a college hoops player at a very, very high level before shifting over to football. He has now the career Ohio State record for pick 6s, and he's done it all this year with 3 of them. And the horseshoe's alive again now. Peppers at the goal line. Escapes the swarm, and Jabril Peppers has a line down the sideline, has to spin free. That allowed the pursuit to catch him. That was the kicker, Tyler Durbin, who saved the touchdown by getting in Pepper's way.
Well, we always talk about big-time players making big plays in big games, and that's exactly what he does. Watch his jump cut to his right there. All these Ohio State defenders, it gives him a chance with that jump cut to get to the outside, almost catches a break. Pretty good effort there by the kicker to come over and cause him to go back to the inside. But Peppers gives Michigan huge starting field position after the interception for a touchdown.
45-yard impact play. And now the toss. Evans cuts it back, and the true freshman, just about 200 pounds, stopped by Hubbard. Back to Spate, and that trying to bounce back from that decision and that throw now.
I think the equity that he has in this season, I think it allows him to mentally put that behind him and move forward. I think if this were early in the year as a first-time starter, you start to doubt yourself and what's happening. But their plan has been pretty effective. He's got to put that behind him and now just try to execute and move the football.
It was only the 9th turnover this year by the Michigan offense. His 5th interception. They have not beaten themselves. But that's a tight throw. Darbo makes a diving catch out near midfield. Short gain. It'll be 3rd down.
A lot like Ohio State. Michigan, even though they've been effective as far as the accuracy, it's a heck of an effort there by Darbo to make the catch. I mean, he's 10 of 15, but for only 95 yards. So much like Michigan's defense doesn't fear Ohio State throwing downfield, it's the same thing that Ohio State's doing. They've really tightened up their coverage, and they don't fear the deep ball at this point either.
2 of 7 on 3rd down so far for the Wolverines. They need 6. Buckeyes rush 4, but Spade is flushed and now delivers a strike. And coming back to the football was Darbo. They move the sticks to the 40.
That is a great job of keeping the play alive by Wilton Spate. See the pressure again. Baker almost gets to him. He flushes him. Hubbard ends up coming up with a hit after the throw. But give Darbo a lot of credit as well. Recognizes his quarterback's in trouble, works back to the football to give him an open receiver to throw to.
No, 1st down handoff to Smith. We've been impressed by how nimble Spate can be. At 6'6", he's a big 240-pounder, but he evades the pressure so well.
Almost in the same vein that a Ben Roethlisberger would do, or a Jameis Winston when he were at Florida State. Big guys aren't necessarily going to do it with their sudden quickness, but they do have a natural feel and an ability to pull away and anticipate that pressure.
Play action on 2nd down. Spate retreats. It's a screen. And Smith makes the first man miss. He'll be knocked down by Draymond Jones, short, a couple yards away from the marker on 3rd down now.
Remember, there was a boot screen last week early in the game from Michigan State that went to L.J. Scott. It was a huge gain. Michigan has not been a huge screen team this year, but may have seen something last week that they wanted to try to exploit. Ohio State does a good job of keeping that from becoming a first down.
Wolverines in borderline field goal range for Allen, needing a couple yards here. A rollout and a throw far side and wide open. Making the catch there is Grant Perry, who's been involved in this first half.
Now this is like a 2-point play. You know, you use this play where you take the man in motion and you use the 2 receivers that are lined already on that side, and they just kind of run a slow route in man coverage, and they create a pick or a rub. So the man that's coming in motion, he just times up the snap and easily is able to get to the outside. You see that a lot in teams that are trying to go for 2.
And Perry only had 9 catches all season coming in, featured in this first half, 3 catches. Approaching the final minute of the half. Play action again. Spate over the middle into traffic. Catch made by Darbo, and the Wolverines knocking on the door.
And there's the 1st and 10 play action pass from Spate. What that does, Chris, is it gets the linebackers up, and it gives him a better throwing lane to be able to get over top of the linebackers. This time he didn't even have to do that. How about the concentration there by Darbo to come up with that catch?
19 yards. And an excellent job by the quarterback bouncing back from a horrendous play to give Ohio State the lead here. They moved the Wolverines 48 yards into scoring possession. Here they take a timeout.
It's a combination of the kickoff return by Peppers and Jim Harbaugh having confidence in his quarterback and saying, don't worry about that pick 6. Put the ball right back in his hands. Let him execute the offense and come up with some big throws.
There's the throw again to Darbo.
And Higdon's route took Raekwon McMillan out. And these receivers, they played a lot of football. Darbo and Chesson, they have been around in Ann Arbor. I've heard all week about 43 seniors on this team. They've never beaten Ohio State.
Darbo, one of the most improved players on this team. It was really Chesson. It was the featured guy last year. He was the team MVP for Michigan in 2015. But Darbo, working so hard in the offseason, has become a real force for this offense. Stan Barrett, Mark May, Mac Brown, the Capital One halftime report. 58 seconds away.
Get down into this area, you always have to think about Jake Butt. If Wilton Spate is the quarterback, and if they end up going to Peppers, there's always that Wildcat package as well.
A lot of moving pieces for the Wolverine offense, but the best defense in the country in goal-to-go situations for Ohio State. A first down throw, and it's Darbo making the catch. A flag comes out after the pass was delivered.
There have been hands in the face. I think Jim Harbaugh is right. I think it was both the Ohio State player and the Michigan player have both had their hands up in the face.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Defense, number 86. That penalty is tacked on to the end of the run. Half the distance. Automatic first down.
They got Draymond Jones, the Buckeyes' first penalty of the afternoon.
Bredesen, the left guard, 74 against 86. Jones. Both these guys are freshmen. See right away they both kind of have their hands up, but Jones definitely the culprit. Almost took the helmet off.
Catch was to the 2. Penalty moves it a yard closer. First and goal. Smith stacked up, and the Ohio native spun down for no gain.
From Harbaugh not necessarily feeling the urgency yet as we get down to 30 seconds. Still 2 timeouts.
Not clock urgency, but urgency to find the end zone.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Big time.
I'm talking, he's got his eyes on his clock. He wants him to snap the ball here. He's all the way down to the 15-yard line.
Handoff inside, fullback, fighting. Hill doesn't get in, and now the clock ticking down to 10 seconds. Michigan will have to spend that second timeout. It'll be 3rd and very short.
Yeah, he was working his way down to the 15, down to the 10, just in case Hill did not get into the end zone. Boy, this play has been great all year. Spate pushes him, and then watch, you'll see him get involved. Remember, you can push your ball carrier into the end zone, but that scarlet jersey is not letting Hill get to the goal line.
You can push, but you can't pull. But there was no push happening there. Ohio State set up a scarlet wall across that goal line. And this play feels enormous. And is Michigan going to shake off the pick six, reclaim the lead going into halftime? Or can Ohio State force a short field goal attempt, perhaps? And what do you call here? You know, the testosterone, the history of this rivalry, pure power football so often on display. You take another crack at the center of the line.
Well, what's ironic is both these teams pride themselves on goal line situations. In spring football, they work on goal line. A lot of teams work on 2-minute offense, spread attack. These teams pride themselves on goal line, their offenses and their defenses. And how fitting at a pivotal moment in this game with 10 seconds left in the first half, we've got a 3rd and goal inside the 1-yard line.
All the sweat and the hammering away in the practice field building toward this moment. And whistle before the snap. Ohio State will spend a timeout. There's Luke Fickell walking all the way down there, spotting something.
Prior to the snap,
he just wanted to get the look.
Timeout by Ohio State. Their second. Please put 10 seconds on the game clock.
Ohio State wanted to get the look. Whether it was the Jabril Peppers kind of wildcat package with the potential of like a jump pass, or if it was in fact that more powerful look with the I formation. Now you wonder if Jim Harbaugh says, okay, now they know that look, let's go to a different look, or do they stick with that power set?
It's a Michigan offense that's rushed for 39 touchdowns this year. That's the most in the Power 5. The Buckeyes have only allowed 4 rushing touchdowns, and the running game so far today really hasn't been there for Michigan, Kirk. It's been the passing game. So what do you think the call is here?
Only 30 yards so far running the football, but still, it's in your DNA. It's in your DNA to win with that look inside the 1-yard line. Do you get cute and try to go with a play action pass and fake the look up the middle? Harbaugh's all the way down to the 2-yard line now at the top of the screen, talking to the official, probably telling him about, hey, listen, I got 1 timeout. I need some eyes on me if they don't score. I guess that you give the ball to Hill and run it right up the middle.
Hill, number 80. Smith is to his left. Hill goes about 265 pounds. No one is lined up farther than about 5 yards from the football. Hill again. Pure power football. Muscles in for the maize and blue. And Michigan reclaims the lead 6 seconds before halftime, and it gets feisty down there. Look out. All those big bodies colliding and tempers flaring.
So, I mean, Michigan, Jim Harbaugh's out there. He's involved trying to get guys off the field. His reaction said it all. I mean, it's not just a touchdown to give Michigan the lead. It's an attitude that Michigan prides itself on now with Jim Harbaugh as a head coach.
An attitude and a big body as Hill runs for his 8th 1-yard plunge. It's his 10th rushing touchdown. The touchdown vulture, the hammering panda.
We're going to play the try for point.
Whatever you want to call him, he's found a way to cap a 54-yard drive set up by a 45-yard kickoff return by Peppers. And Kenny Allen, who's made a big impact in this first half as a punter, out of the hold of Garrett Moores, is a finalist for the Pete Mortell Award for the holder of the year, one of the 3 finalists. As you'd expect from a Mortell finalist, he gets it down perfectly.
Ohio State's trying to get lowest man wins. But it's tough to slow down Hill, who's had success all year with this play. 263 pounds, lowers his shoulder. Ohio State tried to shoot their linebackers right into this hole here. Nice block by the big fullback Poggi also to open that up.
Touchdown run that Bo Schembechler would appreciate, looking down at this one. And Spate answered some things about that drive following the big mistake.
Yeah, the interception for a touchdown. All of a sudden the momentum and the crowd back in the game favoring Ohio State. The big kickoff return by Jabril Peppers to give them very, very good starting field position at their own 46. And then Wilton Speight, who had a great drive, a great, as you said, a great reaction and an answer to that pick six.
Speight 15 of 20 in this first half, Kirk. And you look at the yardage totals, Michigan has more than doubled up Ohio State. The Buckeyes with just 83 total yards on their 28 plays. And yes, field position has been a big factor, but so has the inability of the passing game to be effective at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been a bit of a reoccurring theme for Ohio State when they've gotten into trouble in some games. Teams have kind of challenged them, saying that, hey, until you prove that you can get separation, get the ball thrown downfield, we're going to try to just walk everybody up to the line of scrimmage, take away your short passes, and take away your running game.
Take a look at the PlayStation rankings here. These teams at 2 and 3. Ohio State trying to win and then wait and watch what happens in Happy Valley when the Lions take on the Spartans. Michigan can clinch the division by winning. Penn State sitting there at number 7. Wisconsin's already secured a spot in that Big Ten championship game before the battle for the axe with Minnesota. Ohio State figures to just take a knee here in the final play of what's been a frustrating first half with this Buckeye offense. So Michigan's defense, Speight's efficiency.
I heard Urban Meyer walking off with Sam Ponder mentioning that field position had a lot to do with his approach as a play caller. They were averaging 3rd and 9 in that first half, and I think it's because of a very conservative approach. Even the passing game, it was more short intermediate throws. They didn't attempt one pass over 15 yards. Curtis Samuel has had 1 reception for 1 yard. Michigan doing a great job at defending Ohio State and JT Barrett's most explosive weapon. You know that at halftime, both sides are making adjustments, and for Ohio State, they're trying to figure out how can they get their playmaker more involved.
And Speight right there, you saw him number 3, a somewhat surprising starter. His condition with the left shoulder, a well-kept secret, has been very efficient. He made the biggest mistake of the first half, the pick 6 by Malik Hooker, but he shook that off and was very effective in the Wolverines' touchdown drive. Ohio State gets the football to begin this second half. Allen has been driving his kickoffs deep and preventing any chance at a return, and he does so again. Kind of our Pacific Life game summary.
Kind of been the type of game that a lot of us thought we would see. Low scoring, field position, great defense from both sides. Michigan has sacked JT Barrett 3 times. Curtis Samuel has been bottled up. A big thing for Ohio State. They got pressure here from Raekwon McMillan. Led to an interception. And the only touchdown for the Buckeyes as Hooker took it in, and give Michigan and Speight credit. They responded by driving the length of the field and getting the ball into the end zone for a touchdown to give them this 10-7 lead.
Cannot overstate the contrast between last year's matchup and the first half so far with this battle between the Michigan front and the Ohio State offense.
Start this game with Samuel now in the backfield. They move Mike Weber, move him out of the backfield down here.
Got to hurry. And that play, a keeper by Barrett. They were very lucky. Just got it off before the play clock expired. Ben Gideon makes the tackle.
And Don Brown is saying that we're going to always have one more in the box for quarterback run. They have 8 guys up at the line of scrimmage to take away either Samuel or the threat of JT Barrett. Makes it very, very tough on JT Barrett to be a threat in the quarterback run game.
First year here for Brown, did a terrific job coordinating the defense at Boston College, a finalist for the Broyles Award as the top assistant in the country. There's a completion over the middle. It's been hard to get the ball to Marcus Baugh, who's playing through some ankle pain. Peppers on the coverage. First down.
6'5", 255 going up against Peppers, who is a great player, but undersized, trying to match up with a big tight end. And you can see that Ball, despite the ankle that Sam reported on, still doing a good job of getting separation. One of the first times that JT Barrett's had a receiver that's pulling away from a Michigan defender. Makes it a lot easier to throw the ball.
Take it to Weber. Barrett from the pocket takes his first downfield shot. Noah Brown is down there, just broken up by Stribling at the last minute. He's slow to get up, but a terrific play by the senior.
Let's hope he's able to get up. That's where his length comes into play. Looks like he'll get up. Looks like that left shoulder is kind of stretching that arm out. That's actually the left hand. He extended himself to keep the ball away from Noah Brown. You know, he's 6'2". They list him at 175. Watch how he goes up into the air. Ball's thrown on the money, but a great last-second effort there by Stribling, and there's that length. He needed every ounce of that length to be able to knock the ball away from Brown. But Ohio State here early, better field position, more aggressive with their approach offensively.
Finally, a downfield shot. Brandon Watson replacing Stribling at the corner position. He's down here on the near side, matched up against Campbell. Barrett looks the other direction, off the hands of Samuel, intercepted by Peppers. Look out. Peppers with the ball in his hand, electric, spun down at the 43, but a high throw produces Barrett's first interception in the last 6 games.
You know, he actually had Curtis Samuel here. The ball is thrown high, which forces the ball to go up into the air. Little ball fake, little play action fake, keep the linebackers in. He got hit right as he threw the ball, may have affected the accuracy of the ball. That's why it maybe sailed on him a little bit high. Good pressure there by Chris Wormley, the senior out of Toledo. It's a dangerous play there. I don't think he intentionally went low, but it definitely impacted the throw. Ball goes off the hands of Samuel, and there's the playmaker, Peppers, with a big interception.
Just the 5th pick thrown by Barrett and the first since the Wisconsin game. Wolverines trying to build the lead, take over at the 42. Spate from an empty backfield, flips it short, and the catch is made by tight end Butt, who's been a favorite target this afternoon. He beat McMillan. They moved the sticks.
But almost as if it's like an option route, like a basketball move here. Watch him feel Peppers. Watch him work to the middle. He's kind of looking over his shoulder. This way, nope, we're going to go back that way. There's the relationship coming into play again between Spate and the veteran Jake Butt.
Good job by the official ducking down to keep that passing lane open. Chris Evans in the game. Out of the I formation, hands it off, and Evans shows that shake and that acceleration on a first down gain of about 7. Tom?
Chris, you want to know the emotion of this game? The reaction of Jabril Peppers after making that interception. Came over to the bench, jumped up, turned his back to the field, faced the crowd, made the O-H-N-O gesture.
It's never appreciated, but you make a play like that in a game like this, and Peppers knows that you'll be remembered forever. Ann Arbor can be part of a victory over Ohio State.
Been said for a long time. I mean, these are the games you play in. This rivalry is what people remember.
He watched the game when Charles Woodson made so many big plays in '97. That's when he fell in love with Michigan. So he's living his dream today. Made a big impact on a kick return that set up the touchdown. Now the interception on 3rd and short. Smith gets free, gets the edge. Davion Smith rumbling down inside the 10-yard line. That's his best run of the afternoon.
Ohio State pinched. They pinched inside. Good block by Wheatley, and then Butt leads around to the outside. Ohio State loses contain, anticipating an inside run, and that's where the play was designed to go. But the vision of Smith bouncing that to the outside for huge yards.
He got 16 of them after being bottled up in the first half. Smith again. Picks his way up the middle, lowers the head, knocked down at the 1-yard line by Hooker. Michigan threatening to stretch this lead now off the interception.
It was great patience by Smith, allowed the blocks, kind of a little counter play, let the fullback and the pulling guard get around instead of hurrying it and running into potential penetration from the defensive line. He just patiently allowed them to come around from the left to the right.
You can see what Tom is reporting on the Wolverines beginning to feel it over there. This is a group that was blown out at home last year by Ohio State. Fumbled exchange, and now a scrum at the 2-yard line. Buckeyes are pointing their way, and they have it. A turnover that could turn around this game as Spate fumbled the exchange, and Hamilton makes the recovery.
Jim Harbaugh has got to be so frustrated. One thing as a quarterback, when the right guard's pulling around, there's a tendency to want to pull out a little sooner. It looked like he actually had his hands on the football. It wasn't as if he was pulling out too early. Ball just never quite who's never quite able to secure it. You can see a great effort there by Devon Hamilton, the freshman, who ends up coming up with a football.
Second turnover for Spate. They only had 8 all season coming in. When you have that left shoulder injury, it can be tricky taking a snap sometimes. It can be painful. Who knows if that's a factor or not.
But it hasn't been a factor all game. I just think you get down inside that 5-yard line, linemen are pulling, and you're trying to get the ball out, and that's why you're seeing he and his center right now, Cole, talk about it.
Once again, the Buckeyes pinned back in awful field position. Barrett spins for a few yards. He did take the downfield shot unsuccessfully. Will they begin to open things up in this second half? They have to.
Yeah, if you throw the ball, it's quick slants. It's the quick game. You get the ball out quickly.
They're rolling in the end zone. Just has to avoid the sack and the safety as Rashawn Gary, the true freshman, was in his face.
One of the most highly touted recruits in the country, came down to Clemson and Michigan on the last day. Watch his effort here to work through 2 guys, Weber and Prince. And I think because he got by them, I don't even know if JT Barrett could see him. Instantly, he's in his face, and he gets rid of the football.
What's the call here now on 3rd and long, down inside the 5? Empty backfield. Wolverines rush for. Barrett steps up, delivers. Catch made by K.J. Hill for a first down. A clutch pitch and catch for Ohio State.
I'm very, very surprised. They have Ohio State pinned back deep in their own territory. The press coverage has given Ohio State a problem. Look at the cushion. Look at that cushion on 3rd down that they decided to give up to K.J. Hill. And J.T. Barrett says, thank you very much.
They went against some tendencies. Didn't bring pressure. Didn't play man. And now Weber, who's had a tough go of it. The guy out of Detroit comes in highly motivated. He hasn't been able to get free at all.
Michigan, their strength has been not just a pressure package. It's been getting up into the face of the Ohio State wide receivers and really challenging them to try to get downfield. And it's affected the timing between the receivers and JT Barrett there. On a big 3rd down, they decide to give them soft coverage, and they were able to execute.
They bring the pressure on 2nd and 9. Barrett immediately is flushed out and fires incomplete to Brown. Mike McCray from his linebacker position was there in a hurry.
Yeah, they continue to get after him, but it continues to be a challenge for these receivers to separate from the coverage, the tight coverage. And we talked about the one pass downfield. This is the one pass off to the left where they challenged them downfield beyond 15 yards. Everything else is short throws, and it makes it a lot easier on a defense when you don't have to worry about that vertical passing game.
It's like Barrett with an empty backfield is looking across at Mike McCray, spy on this 3rd and 10. From the pocket, delivers high. Weber makes a catch. He's immediately driven back by Delano Hill, and Michigan forces another punt.
Delano Hill matched up man-to-man on the running back Mike Weber, who was flexed out in that empty package you talked about. Ohio State trying to use a rub route, hoping that Hill would get caught up in it, but he came clean and was easily able to make the tackle short of the 1st down.
Weber hadn't even landed when McCray arrived to make the hit. Peppers to his own 35, and Johnston takes off on a fake and doesn't get there. Urban Meyer said that if Michigan showed that formation, they might fake it. What a gamble. It backfires as Jordan Glasgow tackles the punter.
He told me, you and I, that there's a look that they gave that no matter what happens at any point in the game, if they give him that look, he's going to call it. I said, what if you're in your own 20-yard line? You still going to call it? He said, if they give us the look, I'm going to call it.
Yeah, the 5-by-2 look, only 2 guys to one side of the center. Michigan was kind of in that look, and this guy can run, this Aussie, but boy, Wolverines are ready for that.
Yeah, if Sam Hubbard is able to sustain his block, then I think it's a totally different story. I think they're able to pick up that 1st down, but Urban Meyer rolls the dice.
Will he pay the price? Smith, the 1st down carry, spun, but still fights. And muscles ahead for about 5. Chris Worley eventually grabbed him. Well, those gambles make you look like a genius when they work, Kirk. But Meyer will perhaps question himself if this backfires.
Right. He will look at that and see when he goes back that the play is actually there if Sam Hubbard is able to make that block.
A defensive player has to make a big block in that situation. Peppers in the game, and Wildcat quarterback keeps all the way and is again knocked down. Hasn't been a productive formation for them at all. Draymond Jones was there.
Go back to the effort here by Hubbard against Glasgow. Glasgow does a good job of getting off of that block, but you can see the other blocks are there. Give all the credit to Jordan Glasgow, the sophomore who had 2 block punts last week, for coming up with another big play in the special
Youngest
team.
of the Glasgow brothers. All 3 walked on at Michigan. Graham was in the NFL. Ryan, of course, we've seen him on defense, and Jordan making a huge play. But Wolverines need 5 on 3rd down. Spate gets rid of it, and a first down completion. Mara Darbo inside the 10.
Well, that is great anticipation and a great feel by Jordan Spate. He knows the pressure's coming. He knows he's got to get rid of the ball. Nick Bosa's right in his face. He throws that ball well before Darbo even turns around. That's where the hours of practice in June and July, the 7-on-7 drills that you do with your receivers, you develop a rhythm and timing, and there it was perfectly on display.
Again, the Wolverines in a goal-to-go situation. Spate stumbles as he reaches back to hand it off to Smith, who gets just a yard. It's been difficult to execute down here. They were able to muscle it in just before halftime, Kirk, but then we saw the fumbled exchange, and he almost tripped there.
Yeah, we'll see. Lucky to get the ball off before his knee touched. Good effort there to get the ball into the hands of Smith. You can see, boy, just gets rid of the ball, almost tossed it into the hands of Smith. You're right, down here it's been tough sledding like it's been for most teams against Ohio State inside the 10-yard line. They've been very good at preventing teams from getting into the end zone.
Hill and Smith in the backfield, but Spate drops back, looks in the flat, and delivers it in a touchdown. Khalid Hill has been a power runner all season long, makes his 2nd touchdown reception, and Michigan capitalizes on the failed fake punt.
Slide the big fella out of the backfield. The linebacker, Chris Worley, is late in getting out there, maybe not anticipating and thinking that the ball would be thrown out into the flat, and Hill, Chris, at 265 pounds, has soft hands and is very athletic and has been doing that all year.
Allen adds the conversion. This is what set it up. Something they'd practiced and planned for, but did not execute well enough. Johnston tackled by Glasgow. A couple of yards short of the marker. Very short field for Michigan. And Khalid Hill says, I'm not just a power runner. I got some nice soft hands. I can make some catches too. 17-7. Tonight on ABC.
Always a great rivalry game this time of year with the athletes on the field, and I think Florida State team to beat.
Ohio State facing a 10-point deficit, matches the biggest of the season. They were down in Madison before rallying to win in overtime. Tough sled.
12 title. I think they're going to get into the playoffs.
Off to Santa Clara. Friday is the championship game in the Pac-12 against either Colorado, or is Utah tonight, or SC. Buckeyes now facing that 10-point deficit midway 3rd quarter, in need of a big play, a spark. And Samuel provided. Gets the edge, slides down after a 9-yard game before Hill stopped him. He may be the guy.
He's going to have to be the guy, and he's not had as many touches as we thought we would see. I think you're going to start to see them get him the football. Only has 1 reception at this point in the game and only 5 carries, so 6 touches overall. I think you and I and maybe a lot of people watching this game feel like this is a pivotal point in this game. Ohio State down 10 with the way their offense is played. For a young football team, this is where they need to step up and try to really have a big drive.
Barrett keeps it. They had Weber and Samuel in the backfield, but JT bulldozes for a first down to the 40.
Pretty good movement up front. One of the few times we have seen a good push. Jamarcus Jones, the left tackle, just opened that up and gave JT Barrett plenty of room for that first down. When you start to run the ball, it starts to set up potential play action shots where you can throw the ball behind the safeties.
Timeout by Ohio State. is at this point in last year's game when the Buckeyes just began to impose themselves. It was long touchdown drive after long touchdown drive against this Wolverine front. A lot of the same veteran players are out there today dressed in white uniforms.
Charge timeout. Ohio State. They're first.
And Dave Kataya may want to come in here.
Cassidy, thank you. After the forced timeout on Ohio State, we'll go back to work on first down. Barrett back, almost collided with Weber, was coming out in motion there, and McCray batted the pass down.
Not only did he bat it down, he almost intercepted it. Mike McCray, the senior out of Dayton, Ohio, Trotwood High School, jumps up and times it up perfectly. We've seen that a few times today. Hurst had one. Now McCray goes up, and like I said, he's almost close to being able to hold on to that football.
Another Ohioan or Michigan. The heart beats a little bit faster for those guys in this rivalry game. Barrett has a blocker, has the edge, and has a productive run into Michigan territory. And finally, the Buckeyes are back on the plus side of the 50 for the first time since the opening drive.
Right here's the read. He comes down, but he also has a lead block coming around the edge with his tight end. Collapses down on Weber. There's nobody to the outside. One of the first times that Michigan has lost contain.
This Kirk just the fourth snap in Michigan territory for Ohio State, and now a downfield shot. Samuel was open. There were two receivers converging. Samuel and Brown overshot them both.
They had the one-on-one matchup that they wanted. It looks like he's trying to get it to Samuel on the inside. What a matchup there with Jordan Lewis, one of the top cover guys. No matter who he's throwing the ball to, whether it's Noah Brown or to Curtis Samuel, another inaccurate throw downfield from J.T. Barrett. Those receivers did get separation there.
Second down, Barrett's got it again, and has got the edge again, spinning back for another first down. Buckeyes threatening again for the first time since the opening minutes.
Yeah, that's kind of like a Chip Kelly move in those days at Oregon. You run an option play, that zone read play. It's effective. It works. Why not? Why you want to wait to the next series? Go right back to it. Similar opportunity to gain big yardage for J.T. Barrett getting the edge.
Wolverines, who have not seen a running quarterback of his quality this season, did a good job containing him in the first half. Weber drops the pass in the flat.
Not only do you drop the pass in the flat, you affect the tempo and the rhythm that Ohio State's been able to establish here in these last 3 or 4 plays. You know, not just Urban Meyer trying to call plays that can work. His offense, it's about tempo, moving people around, trying to get the Michigan defense on their heels.
In the pocket on 2nd and 10. Barrett has lots of time, delivers to Weber in the flat, but he kind of threw it behind him, and it's a loss on the catch as Shannon Stribling trapped him 5 yards behind the line.
Surprised that J.T. Barrett ends up throwing this ball out into the flat. It's a long throw well behind the line of scrimmage against a very athletic defense that has great awareness. Stribling there first, and then 2 or 3 other Michigan defenders.
You saw how quickly they pursued. They were Wolverines in a hurry. Now they need 16 on this 3rd down. You got to go all the way inside the Michigan 25-yard line. Wolverines rush forward, get at Barrett, who fires over the head of Samuel. Again, he was well covered by Stribling. No chance to make a play.
No, he's uneasy in that pocket right now. I mean, it's very simple to see. Even though they don't actually sack him, watch J.T. Barrett's body language. He's feeling that pressure. He's not confident in that offensive line, keeping the pressure off of him, and it's hurrying up his thought process, which is affecting his accuracy and the way he's throwing the ball. He's hoping that they keep that pressure off of him. They've got him rattled right now.
Hard to do, isn't it? He's such a poised guy. It's his 3rd start against Michigan. He's been the starter of 2 victories over the Maize and Blue, but not playing up to par today. Johnston with his short punt. Peppers makes the fair catch at about the 12-yard line. And the Wolverines will go back to work protecting a 10-point lead. Let's take a look at who's been putting in work. Brought to you by Carhartt.
Well, Wilton Spade has been putting in work with his timing, with his wide receivers. can see how quickly, when he feels that pressure, under 2 seconds because of the blitz, he gets the ball out. And then catching Ohio State by surprise, getting the fullback out into the flat. Hill for that last touchdown to put him up 17-7.
Spate 9 consecutive completions. I don't think he's misfired since that pick six, has he?
No, and the last time he was deep in his own territory like this, Jim Harbaugh got aggressive with his play action pass on 1st and 10, which led to the interception.
See the national championship trophy presented by Dr. Pepper, which will be awarded in Tampa. Both these teams came into the game as strong contenders for the playoff. Only one is going to survive. He seldom used Henry Poggi, the fullback, with his short gain.
This time he says, forget the play action pass on 1st and 10 back here. Let's run the big fullback.
There's a lot of anxiety in this place. I think these fans came in filled with confidence as their team do. They are stunned by what they've seen so far. And Ohio State's defense make another big play. Spate delivers behind Darboh. He couldn't collect it. He was streaking open. Spate felt some pressure, and that throw is one of the few inaccurate ones he's had.
Marshawn Lattimore retreated in coverage, and to me, Darboh was wide open. He just didn't secure the football. Ball is thrown between the corner and the safety. There's a nice hole in that zone coverage. Great read. Another throw a little bit behind him.
Would have been a terrific catch.
But still, a ball that Darboh, you would typically expect him to make that catch. See if Ohio State blitzes here or sits back. Tries to just get their pressure with 4.
Darboh motions in. Spate feels pressure. It's a screen again. Smith weaving and dodging people. First down and much more. Flag comes out as Smith gets out near midfield. Damon Webb forced him out. The flag going to the 32-yard line. So again, not a big screen team, but they use it effectively.
Yeah, he's timed it up when he's needed it. Malik Hooker, who had the interception for a touchdown, just a missed tackle here. Came in out of control, and Smith made him miss.
Personal foul. Face mask. Offense. Number 52. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 3rd down.
Mason Cole, the fine center, flying for face mask.
Grabs a hold up to the top right. He grabs a hold of the corner. Lattimore's grabs a hold of his face mask.
He was part of a convoy of blockers. Didn't affect the play at all, but a very costly penalty. Instead of having the ball out near the midfield.
See, I think
inside the 20.
Jim Harbaugh thought it would be a first down and then spotted the foul to bring it back. That's why he is frustrated. He's saying it's first down. He thought it would be a first down and then maybe a first and 15 or first and 20.
Well, they did throw the flag at the 32, so a spot foul 15 yards back from there. And it sets up as a 3rd down.
He's saying because of where it was, but go back to this screen. Ohio State has it defended. Look at the safety Hooker right here. Just comes in out of control. It's a great cut by Smith, but an open field tackle for Hooker. He didn't even get a hand on him to slow him down.
So a 16-yard
penalty starts
being nullified.
Penalty's right at the 28-yard line.
Dave Kataya, Jim Harbaugh wanted clarification in that rule. Pretty clear cut, though.
Very clear cut because it is a spot foul on the offense, and that penalty took them behind the line to gain. So we've got to repeat it down rather than a first down.
Okay.
Wolverines had converted their last 5 3rd downs. It's going to be 6 for 6 before that penalty. Let's see what they've got dialed up here. It could be a penalty to remember. Ohio State will turn this around. Inside of 3 minutes in the 3rd quarter.
Ohio State may want to consider tightening up coverage on the outside. Remember, Wilton Spate's been doing a good job of getting the ball out and anticipating throws against soft coverage.
Buckeyes showing pressure. Back off, and Spate has time from the pocket. Delivers a strike, a first down. That's Grant Perry again, beating Gary and Conley.
That is just a quarterback that is feeling it. Gets man-to-man. Great job of separating by Grant Perry. When you win one-on-one and you have a quarterback that has time to throw and is throwing with confidence, you win as an offense, even on third down.
Incredible precision from Spate. Again, sat out last week's game with a shoulder injury. There's a big question mark coming in. He has delivered big time. First down handoff and smashed down behind the line by Draymond Jones. Smith that time. It's been a rare tackle for loss.
Yeah, Draymond Jones has had a great freshman year this year for Ohio State. Just shoots a gap. He's undersized for being in the inside, but he uses quickness to win. And that is an example of that right there. It's Ohio State defensive line, considering all the great players that they lost that are now playing in the NFL coming into this year, it's really become a strength, and they've relied on some young players like Jones to be very effective for them.
But Luke Fickell kept saying the guys inside have got to be huge today, have got to play physical today. Spate steps up, delivers, intercepted. Picked off by Jerome Baker. And Baker's got blockers. Tackle inside the 15. The third Michigan turnover. The second picked by Spate. And Ohio State gets the spark they needed.
Chris, the first interception was Raekwon McMillan making a play. This one is on Wilton Spate. Baker is right here, just kind of sinks. And Wilton Spate just doesn't account for him. Comes off the play action. Look, he's waiting for that crossing route right here, but doesn't feel or see Baker. Puts it right into his hands. Maybe he thought he could get it over top of him, but Baker's a heck of an athlete. Goes up. Remember, he had the big play early in the year against Oklahoma. He's got great speed, kind of a natural athlete in the open field, and picks up big yards. And the Ohio State defense again sets up Ohio State's offense. First one was a touchdown, this time inside the 15.
Third turnover for the quarterback, who's played at times a terrific game, but that mistake could be very costly. And now is it a flinch up front? Wolverines are pointing. Baker, one of those guys that got off to a terrific start, as you said, kind of hit the wall, kind of a mid-season slump, but a big moment to deliver.
Offside. Defense. Number 73. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Frustration building for Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh just threw his entire play sheet, and they threw a flag on him.
Can we call it a sideline warning?
No, maybe it is a sideline warning, but a heck of a reaction from Jim Harbaugh after they made the call.
And there goes the play card.
And it ended up right in the middle of the field. He threw it so far.
Unsportsmanlike conduct charged against Michigan's fence.
That is not a sideline warning. That is a penalty, and it'll move the ball inside the 5 as Coach lost his cool. And Ohio Stadium is alive again.
Michigan's been great in this area defensively all year. How will Ohio State attack?
Barrett barrels forward. Stops short.
Boy,
so often you get down here, quick, excuse me, and the field feels tilted for Ohio State downhill, doesn't it?
We have these goal line situations. How fitting in an Ohio State-Michigan game to have these.
Weber dives for an Ohio State touchdown. And the redshirt freshman from Detroit gets the Buckeyes closer. 2 plays after the interception by Baker. A couple of penalties on the Wolverines. And the Buckeyes, BAT away from drawing within a field goal now. Things can change so quickly, can't they?
They sure can. Earlier, there's an interception by Malik Hooker for a touchdown. This time, Jerome Baker goes up and makes a pivotal interception to give the Buckeyes great field position after the nice return. Jim Harbaugh helps him out with a reaction to an offsides call with an unsportsmanlike. moves the ball deep into Michigan territory. And 2 plays later, as Chris said, Mike Weber, who's from Detroit, knows a lot of these Wolverines, goes up into the air and scores that touchdown.
We talked about that face mask call on the center. How often do you see that on the screen pass to Smith, which nullified a big gain, nullified a first down. Set up the interception and the short touchdown drive. And Ohio State, which has done very, very little on offense today. They have just 153 total yards, a pick 6, and a short touchdown drive. Tom?
Composure, that's been a key message on both sides. But you saw Jim Harbaugh, and really when he threw the play cards up in the air and got that penalty, Chris, that was a fuse that had been lit because he was so upset about where the ball was marked, believing that he had the first down, then had to call the timeout. It was a whole succession of plays which ultimately manifested in that frustration, the penalty, which obviously helped the Buckeyes climb back in this game and ignite this stadium.
Yeah, the call was correct, though. Don't often see the penalty called, but that is a chain of events that's gotten Ohio State close. Jordan Lewis back deep instead of Peppers, but they kick it to the right, which is a rarity for Ohio State. That breaks a strong tendency. Wolverines able to get it out across the 25-yard line with Bobby Henderson, the fullback. So now, how does Wilton Speight respond to this mistake? He did well the first time.
Yeah, he didn't have any problem with it earlier, but again, that one wasn't on him. That was pressure. Raekwon McMillan hitting his hands. He threw it. This one was a poor decision. I still think you're going to see him. This guy's in a good place until that throw. He's been making good decisions. He's 20 of 27. He's been throwing the ball accurately. I think it's more about Jim Harbaugh and where does he go from a play caller standpoint than Wilton Speight. I think Spate's going to respond.
Peppers is at tailback. First time he's lined up there today. They fake it to him. Speight rolls out. Darbo's in the flat running free. A well-designed play with the attention perhaps on number 5, and he gets 10 yards.
Sometimes Jabril Peppers is so involved that you're aware of him. The defense looks for him, and it's a nice call to come right back. Well, Michigan's done a lot of misdirection, bootlegs, moving Wilton Speight around. He's not just playing from the pocket today. They've had a plan to kind of move this offense around and use a lot of the misdirection.
It was an 8-yard gain. Higdon in the game on 2nd down. He's got it, and he's got a first down. Final 30 seconds approaching of this third quarter. Michigan has been dominant in front of the largest crowd ever to watch a game in Ohio Stadium, 110,045. They're going to reduce the capacity or take some seats out next year, so this may stand forever as the all-time record here in Columbus. Who knows? Will the faithful go home happy? Ohio State back within 3 at the end of 3. The dramatic final quarter coming up from the Horseshoe. We'll be back after this mess. Empty backfield. Buckeyes rush 4. Speight has time. Delivers high and incomplete. Try to get the ball back to Jake Butt. Middle backer McMillan in coverage. Pacific Life game summary takes a look at the quarterback comparison. The somewhat surprising starter Spates had his moments, but those 3 turnovers. Barrett has struggled big time as a passer today.
Yeah, but the 58 yards rushing. We were talking there at the break. The last series we saw him probably have some of his best runs, but definitely not feeling it today throwing the ball at this point in the game.
On 2nd down, they hand it off inside to Chris Evans. Michigan's been pretty one-dimensional today. Not much of a running game to speak of. They'll need 4 yards now on this 3rd down.
Yeah, and you're talking about a Michigan offense that for the large part of this season, they've been able to control things at the line of scrimmage. 235 yards a game on the ground. Although the last 2 weeks, when they went to Iowa City, you and I did that game, and last week in the second half against Indiana, they were able to run the football where Smith got out a couple times.
And Ohio State's defense get the football back. Speight got pressure and the ball got deflected at the line. He hits the deck and is a little slow to get up. Tyquan Lewis off the edge made the play.
Both of the defensive ends. Hubbard, who got to him on the outside's coming here, but here comes Tyquan Lewis, who's had a monster year this year for Ohio State. He gets his hand up to knock that down, and one of the first times we've really seen Spate taken down to the ground hard throughout this entire game.
So impressive to see the power of Lewis, but also the flexibility, the nimbleness as a pass rusher.
Doesn't really get talked about as often as he should. He's had a great year.
Kenny Allen has had a great game. Booming kickoffs, knocking effective punts. This one bounces. Samuel thought about it, but lets it go, and it rolls dead at the 16. Ohio State back to work.
Both teams of Michigan and Ohio have been engaging in a rivalry that is truly second to none.
Winning is the epitome of team effort.
No man is more important than the team. The team, the team, the team.
Sheer force of their leadership escalated this rivalry to another level. And Tom Rinaldi asked Urban Meyer, if you could ask Woody Hayes one question, what would it be? How did you ever let Bo Schembechler get away to go coach that other side?
No doubt about it.
And these two, their forceful personalities defining a new era in this rivalry. Harbaugh has been a frustrated second half. Threw his play card, got flagged, broke his headset, hoping his defense can restore order here. And Barrett looking to throw, has to dodge pressure, can't get away for long. Finally sacked on the inside by Chris Wormley. Taco Charlton again was there in a hurry, though.
Well, they do a good job of being able to get pressure on JT Barrett, but you'll see in the background is Curtis Samuel, who we keep talking about. Where is he? Where is he? They had a linebacker, Ben Gideon, trying to run with him downfield. It's got to be frustrating, Urban Meyer and Ed Warner, that they've not been able to get the football to him. The right tackle, Prince, continuing to struggle in pass pro.
Barrett escapes and is brought down. Mike McCray was spying the quarterback. Samuel Kirk with 61 catches coming into the game, 34 more than the second busiest receiver.
And he is Michigan's obviously made him the most high priority of the Ohio State attack. 3.6 yards per touch. Entering today 10 yards. And they've moved him around, but Michigan has kept usually Jordan Lewis, or they've kept Jabril Peppers on him in man coverage.
On 3rd and 6, there he is to the left, watched by Lewis. Again, pressure off the edge and a sack. Mike McCray, part of that 3rd down package, and Barrett goes down hard again.
Well, they bring both the linebackers. Ohio State's offensive line struggles to be able to hold up here. You see an odd front, 3 down linemen. They bring both the linebackers. And Mike McCray, whose dad was a captain at Ohio State, is playing very inspired football as a senior.
He's a tough run stopper, Kirk. He's an excellent pass rusher as well when they call on him to do that. It's a big stand by Michigan's defense. And Johnston from his 1-yard line gets a low boot away. Peppers is back as the punt returner retreats to his 37. 12:03 to play. Wilton Spate has to shake off his latest mistake. Motioning back Smith to the tailback position. They fake it to him. Spate wanted to take a downfield shot. Hit as he throws. Pressured there by Lewis again. What's at stake here in the final 13 minutes or so? Michigan can win the Big Ten East with a victory and head to Indy to take on Wisconsin. Ohio State with a victory, they would lose the head-to-head tiebreak against Penn State. They would need the Lions to lose at home to Michigan State coming up. That game follows directly on ESPN right after this one's done. Higdon is the back on 2nd and 10. Draw. Cannot escape. Just could not break the tackle of Raekwon McMillan, the top tackler on this defense.
I think he was really sensing it. Watch his eyes. Watch his focus, anticipating potential run and draw. He beats the center, Mason Cole, trying to come out to get him because of that quick reaction. To what great linebackers do. They anticipate and get to the football before the linemen have a chance to come out and make a play.
Rushman package in the game on 3rd and 10 for Ohio State. Buckeyes rush for Spate, immediately pressured and sacked. Bosa and Jalen Holmes combined.
Well, Luke Fickell mixes it up. His looks, he's showing pressure. They're going to blitz, right? They're going to blitz? No, they're going to drop. And Bosa ends up getting home. Show pressure, drop it, and that's just Nick Bosa with quick hands and quick feet getting right by the veteran Kyle Kalis.
And big brother Joey made a big play against Michigan a year ago, and now Nick is the true freshman with his 5th sack of the season. Allen drives a punt to Samuel, who comes up. No fair catch and spins for a short gain from the 37-yard line. That's where Barrett will set up shop. Or punt. They have it at the 37.
Ohio State 72 yards on an opening drive, 79 yards since that opening drive. Favorable field position. See what they do with it.
Samuel was slot right. Now he motions in. Barrett looking to the right. Incomplete. Right off the chest of Paris Campbell. He has not made an impact play in the last few weeks and had a chance there.
Ball could not have been thrown any better. JT Barrett throws it right on the money, and Paris Campbell just unable to secure it. Soft coverage from Stribling.
He's had a quiet few weeks. He hasn't had a chance to make a play today, Kirk. But boy, you got to be ready in the 4th quarter when they call your number.
Absolutely. He's got to put that one behind him.
Barrett looks to run, escapes. JT Barrett gets away from Peppers, who's trying to chase him down inside the 25. Wolverines weren't ready for that.
Confusion before the snap from Michigan. Peppers is going back to Thomas. You can see they're not quite on the same page, and I think JT Barrett recognized that right away. There's nobody in the middle of the defense. The center elf line is going out to the safety, Peppers, to block him. I think JT Barrett aborted the play, saw that opening, and just took off and ran.
Improvisation creating a 41-yard gain. By far the Buckeyes' biggest play. Now Barrett fires far side. Samuel makes the catch out at the 15 in front of Peppers.
It's a matchup we thought we would be seeing all afternoon, is Curtis Samuel going up against Jabril Peppers. Ironically, Samuel from Brooklyn, Peppers from New Jersey. Never played each other in high school, but the rare opportunities there for Samuel to make a play.
They knew about each other, though, didn't they? Barrett cannot escape. Peppers said, I knew all about the guy from Brooklyn. You know, they tried to set up a scrimmage. It didn't work out between those two high schools. They finally get a chance to hook up here this afternoon.
Yeah, and it's not very common for Ohio State to go to the East Coast, especially into the city, into Brooklyn, to be able to bring in a big-time player like that. But they've been able to do it. And that last play was just all about Michigan's defensive line, getting around blocks. After a nice gain on 1st and 10, next thing you know, it's 3rd down and short here for Ohio State.
And the #1 3rd down defense in the country, needing to get a stop here, force a field goal attempt. Ohio State needs 4. Weber and Samuel in there, but Barrett keeps it all the way, lowers the shoulder. He's near the marker. I think they'll spot it just a little bit short. Chris Wormley held him right there along with Peppers. Decision time.
Well, we saw Urban Meyer fake a punt. We'll see. He thinks it's going to be. And now he's trying to get everybody lined up to go tempo here on 4th down. No decision at all. Just go.
4th down, and now a whistle before the snap. And now they will spend a timeout.
Urban Meyer ends up calling a timeout.
Prior to the snap. Charge timeout. Ohio State.
So the Buckeyes down to just 1 timeout because they had to spend that timeout earlier in the half when Corey Smith didn't have his mouthpiece in, of all things. Spending the 2nd timeout. 4th and 1. Really about a half yard they need, Kirk, and Meyer not thinking about a tying field goal here.
No, and he has been aggressive today, as you would expect both these coaches to be in the Ohio State-Michigan game. Fake punt deep in his own territory that didn't work out. Now down 3, could go for the tie with a kicker that's been really consistent this year. But it looks like, you know, 4th and less than a yard, he's going to go for it.
Interesting, because he wanted to run tempo. Perhaps catch Michigan's defense not lined up. Then he seemed to think better of it, say, wait a second, maybe we don't rush this play. Let's take a timeout, think about it, make sure we have our play call and get the execution. Usually you'd think this is going to be 16 on a keeper.
Well, yeah. The thing is, do you go back against a defense that they pride themselves on penetration? They shoot gaps. That's what they do. They've done it all year with Don Brown's scheme. He told me earlier this year the three things that we pride ourselves on is nobody runs the football on us, especially in the red zone. Be dominant in the red zone, and third down defense. Those are the areas, and when you have that, it means you're penetrating the offensive line.
Capron has come over.
You're going to look at the spot on JT Barrett.
Is the replay official. They're going to check out and see whether or not the spot was correct.
It looked like he bounced. Like he came down and then he bounced. When he bounced, it looks like he went across the line, but they marked him short.
This spot's pretty good. He did seem to land short of that yellow line and then bounce across it.
Looks like he's about the 12.5.
It's about where the ball is spotted right now.
Yep.
But a play this significant, we've seen every inch matters in this game. So you better get the spot correct. It's worth a little prudence on the part of the replay booth here. I don't think it's going to change where the ball is placed.
No, I haven't seen anything that would affect the spot.
So the entire stadium would seem to expect a quarterback keeper by Barrett in this situation. He can pick his lane, though. You don't know where he's going to go.
What I was going to say is you go back.
After review, the previous play stands as called. Fourth down.
Do you go back in that shotgun? What I was saying, against a defense that leads the nation in tackles for a loss, he's challenging his offensive linemen right now. I mean, he's yelling at them because they can't allow any penetration. And on the Michigan side, you're thinking, guys, they're going for it. We're up 3. Huge opportunity to shoot a gap and do what we've been doing all year.
You're right. 2 very different approaches to third and fourth and short. Barrett is in the gun. Weber to his left.
Big opening over the right guard. McCray walks up in it.
And hand it off to Weber, who muscles for a first and goal.
The tight end Marcus Ball is lined up on the left. The backup tight end Alexander. The push is right there. It's a good job on the left side of the offensive line. The 2 tight ends, A.J. Alexander and Marcus Ball, got the push.
Michigan still moving around, trying to get lined up for this first and goal play.
And Michigan's confused again, and Jim Harbaugh's going to have to use another timeout.
Timeout. Michigan. Really? Their second timeout.
It's part of the game plan for Ohio State to create confusion.
Recognition to what he saw.
Michigan settling itself down. It hopes on defense after the timeout. Weber trying to get the edge, slips one tackle, cuts it back, hit hard at the 6-yard line there by Taco Charlton.
Chris, there was a serious block by Noah Brown on a crack block right here. He's down. Diamante Thomas, watch this block. Boom, Noah Brown. That's how it's really what he's known for, is being a physical wide receiver. Just crack block is a block that it's a dangerous play for those safeties and linebackers. Usually that corner yells to try to alert the safety.
Few things make Urban Meyer more excited than a physical block by a wide receiver. That's his background as a coach.
Taco Charlton down as well.
Yeah, he made the tackle there. So 2 key guys on Michigan defense being attended to. Let's listen to that block again. There, the pop of the pads there. Both Michigan defenders are up. Charlton looks okay. He's walking slowly. The trainers are with Thomas.
Yeah, that's obviously a heavyweight hit there. Charlton looks like he's going to have to go out, but he looks like you would think, be able to come back. Nice to see both guys up.
So Weber actually free safety out of the game now here.
Yes, Weber actually, because of that block, was able to get to the edge and cut back and get all the way down to the 5-yard line.
Second and goal. Barrett rolling, hit as he throws a dangerous pitch into the end zone. Tried to find Brown, nearly intercepted as Ben Gideon came on the blitz.
Well, this is a dangerous decision by J.T. Barrett. He's got a lot of receivers going here, and then Noah Brown working there. This is a defense that almost comes up. Look how close. I mean, Gideon gets to him. Obviously affects the accuracy of the throw, but Kennel goes up. Almost comes down with the interception.
He's the safety filling in for Thomas. 3rd and goal. Barrett keeping all the way into heavy traffic, knocked down. He's 2 yards short. You'd have to figure Meyer's going to choose for a tying field goal here.
He's thinking about it, but I'm with you. You would think that chance to tie the game. He's frustrated. I think he sensed there was an opportunity after converting there on 4th down. And the way this game has gone, and the fact his offense has not been able to drive the field and put 7 points on the board, I think it feels like his offense missed out on an opportunity. Now they hope to just tie the game.
Glorified extra point for Durbin from 20 yards. He missed earlier from 37, just his 2nd miss of the season, and it's left. Missed it again. Meyer, incredulous, as an ultra reliable kicker, is 0 for 2 in the game. And there are about 105,000 other incredulous folks here.
Think about the weight of a game. This guy has been so consistent all year. And you just said it's on the left hash, but it's basically like an extra, just close to the left hash, an extra point. The ball didn't even hit it clean.
Again, the pressure of the moment manifested in many ways. Mike Black, is our spotter, says that it was poor technique again. And Mike, a former kicker, Harbaugh knows that was just a little piece of luck. Urban cannot believe that he's 0 for 2 kicking field goals today. Really get another chance. Michigan with 7 minutes to go, back on offense. It's been tough to run for the Wolverines today. Again, coming into this game, Durbin's only miss was the block by Penn State, returned for a touchdown, the decisive points in their only loss. He'd been perfect except for that coming into this game.
Senior just hoping for another opportunity later in this game.
Michigan moving around a whole bunch of big bodies pre-snap here on 2nd and 8. Smith running behind all of them and is knocked down after a gain across the 25. 3rd down again.
And Jim Harbaugh football, pre-snap movement, try to affect the communication adjustment of a defense, get the good blocking angles for the offensive line, chew up clock. Big play, Chris, considering we're at 6 minutes to go in this game.
More power football. Or does he give Spate a chance to move the sticks with a pass? Buckeyes rush 4, incomplete. It was thrown a little bit behind Darboh, off his hands. Denzel Ward in coverage. It's 4th down.
I think Ohio State thought that Butt might get the football. Watch the linebackers, especially Baker. Baker looks Butt up to the left. See how he just looks him up? It opens it up for this right here, for the quick slant. Now it's just about getting separation. And Chris, you're right. The ball is thrown behind Darboh, but Butt takes the defense away. Michigan not able to execute.
It's the 2nd time Darboh's dropped a pass today. Booming punt from Allen has been a force in this football game. Punting and kicking off. Kenny Allen, if they emerge with a victory, is going to be remembered for a long time for this effort.
Yeah, it sounds silly in this era of football that we live in, and spread and people scoring at will on offense. But in this kind of game, 17-14, where we knew field position would be big, Kenny Allen's got to be right up there and considered, if Michigan wins the game, as maybe the MVP of the game.
Say that with a smile, but I'm with you. 56 yards on that punt. And Ohio State now backed up inside its own 20-yard line after getting to the doorstep and then being denied, missing the chip shot. Still down only 3.
It doesn't just flip the field. It ultimately affects how Ohio State attacks deep inside their own territory.
And you wonder, Kirk, Ohio State just 1 timeout. How many more chances will they get to drive this football down? Tire take the lead.
Stoppage. The chains are tangled.
Again, to remind you what's at stake here. This is the game of their lives. All the Michigan players told me that. These seniors who have suffered at the hands of Ohio State. Well aware it was 5 years ago today that they last won in the rivalry, but losers of 11 to 12 this program. 2000 when they're toddlers. That's the last time Michigan came here and won. So that's what they're trying to protect in the final minutes.
John Cooper was the head coach. I mean, that's how long ago it was. It was last year as a head coach. And these guys have put everything into this year. They knew what opportunity they had. They played their hearts out. And Ohio State is young of a football team. You're talking about the youngest team coming into this year in the Power 5. They also have laid it on the line.
Barrett looking for a first down throw, pressured again, and will be sacked one more time. Taco Charlton has had a ball game, and the Wolverine pass rush has been a major force.
Isaiah Prince, the right tackle for Ohio State, has had a struggle all year in pass protection. We've called the Wisconsin game he struggled, the Penn State game he struggled. Today he has struggled against Taco Charlton. Michigan taking advantage of a wink link up front on the offensive line.
On 2nd and 17, Barrett tries to escape, gains some of it back as a runner, is knocked down across the 20. It'll set up 3rd down. Sam?
Yeah, Herbie was talking about Isaiah Prince, and that's what JT's been noticing, obviously, too, on this sideline. When they come off almost every drive, he'll go up and talk to him. He asked him this last time, are you okay? The response was yes, and he gave him some encouragement. But right now, obviously, still struggling.
The loss at Penn State, they were eaten alive up front. 5 second-half sacks by the Lions. 3rd and 7. Barrett has a lot of time. Now delivers downfield. Incomplete. And here comes a flag. It was Samuel covered by Delano Hill. I don't know if he needed to defend. The ball was very high, but the flag came in quickly.
I'm with you, Chris. Playing the center field in the middle is Hill. The ball was going to be thrown over top of Curtis Samuel.
Pass interference. Defense number 34. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
If Hill doesn't even make a play on the ball, it's an incompletion. Ball is thrown high. He definitely got his right arm on top of him. I mean, it's the right call, but he didn't need to do it. The ball was thrown inaccurately, and Curtis Samuel would have had a hard time trying to even get a hand on the ball.
Ball moved to the 36. 7th penalty on Michigan, just 1 on the Buckeyes this afternoon. Barrett from the pocket, batted down, just rejected right there by big number 90, Brian Monet.
What depth this group has. Rotate a lot of different bodies. Monet, Godine, Hurst, Glasgow, Taco Charlton, Rashawn Gary, Chris Wormley. Winovich is a pass rush specialist, number 15. I mean, they have 8 guys that rotate in and out, and they don't miss a beat no matter who's out there.
Guys who were embarrassed last year by what happened against Ohio State. Trampled more than 350 rushing yards in this game. They've shown their improvement, but more work to do. Barrett this time has plenty of time and delivers. Hill retreated after making the catch. He was ahead of the marker, but is tackled at the 44 by Peppers.
He was across the first down marker, or at least very close to it, but trying to make a big play by cutting back under Peppers. So he's right at the marker. If he just goes down, he tries to avoid Peppers and comes up short.
So they need 2 on 3rd down, playing quickly, and a first down gain by Weber up near midfield now, inside of 4 minutes.
One thing they have been able to do better in this second half is their run game. The inside run and the zone read, where JT Barrett has been able to pull it. They didn't get much of a push in the first half, but it's been much better in the second.
Barrett protected well again, delivers across the middle. Samuel down to the 35. Finally, the playmaker making an impact.
And what happens is, we talked about that zone read game. That freezes the linebackers, Mike McCray and Ben Gideon. They start to look back into that backfield, and they lose those receivers coming in behind them.
Booze, as the Michigan team has a man down, and the crowd always suspects that it's a ploy to disrupt the tempo. But Taco Charlton has been battling cramps in the second half. He was taken off earlier for that.
I think they're reacting. He's trying to get somebody to check in for him. Then he just kind of went down. The fans reacting to that.
For the second time, he'll go off, so they lose their most dangerous edge pass rusher. But Samuel, Kirk, you can guard him well, you can protect him, game plan him all afternoon, but he has the kind of raw ability to just make a decisive play at any moment.
It's also credit to the offensive line. We've been talking about how they've been giving up pressure. That time, Curtis Samuel had all day to wait for Samuel to clear to throw the ball.
Barrett again has a ton of time. He's also got space, pump fake, and just scoots out of bounds after a gain that will bring it down to the 32-yard line.
And without Taco Charlton in there, the pass rush off to the right where Isaiah Prince has been getting beaten. This time it's Maurice Hurst, and Prince does a much better job of not allowing the pressure to get to J.T. Barrett. It at least gave him an option and a chance to pull it down and pick up some positive yards.
It's a Michigan defense that spent a lot of time on the field in the second half. Their offense hasn't been able to generate much. Second and 6, again a ton of time. Barrett looked downfield, now just scrambles for a first down inside the 25. The offensive line now stepping up.
I was going to say, Chris, it's a different feel now. Watch the right side. It's been a problem. Now look at that. Nice job by Isaiah Prince. Everybody covered downfield, so the veteran J.T. Barrett picks up the first down with his legs.
Weber is wide left, empty backfield. They throw it to Brown, who makes the catch down inside the 10.
Ohio State had 3 receivers to the field, only 2 defenders. I think Michigan got a little bit confused there. Noah Brown had nobody on him. J.T. Barrett just flipped it out there.
Tempo designed to confuse and exhaust, Urban Meyer says. And there's a whistle. Tempo can also cause some execution issues. That's a rare miscue, a false start on the Buckeyes.
False start. Offense. Number 59. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's the right tackle, Prince. Just their second penalty. That's the downside of tempo, Kirk. Trying to go a little quickly, and the guy wasn't set.
Yeah, Ohio State, I think it's the last couple drives they've been able to get tempo more involved. Isaiah Prince looks a little fatigued himself. Usually it's the defense you try to wear down. Those Michigan defensive linemen, a few of them with their hands on their hips. It's been a long game, 2 minutes to go in this game.
First and goal back at the 13. Play clock is winding down. Does Barrett see it? Just gets the snap off. There's confusion, a near collision, and Gideon drops him for a loss.
The play clock's going down. J.T. Barrett's trying to get Mike Weber's attention to come over. Let's go. He finally had to snap the ball. He's right here. See the play clock, he's standing on it, down to 3. J.T. Barrett's trying to get his attention, but because he went in the backfield to pick up a block, there's nobody there to get the linebacker.
Urban Meyer just hunched over, out on the field, now has to be corralled to the sidelines. Boy, it was first and goal at the 8, a false start, tackle for loss, and play clock inside of 6. Just get it off. Barrett takes off, again will be stopped. And now it's Ohio State that looks a little confused after putting Michigan's defense on the ropes, Kirk.
Absolutely. Taco Charlton, by the way, back in the lineup, and we've talked a lot about how they've been stunning and twisting up front. And that twist that time from Charlton from the outside back to the inside, he's the guy who got a hand on J.T. Barrett, but there wasn't a lot of room to run. We're at 30 seconds. They have 1 timeout.
And they got to reach the end zone 18 yards away, or else turn it over to Tyler Durbin again. Barrett across the middle. Catch made. Baugh in traffic to the 5. 4th down, 20 seconds to go.
And Jim Harbaugh is saying, let's go. Get the field goal unit ready. They're very close to the same spot they were last time when he missed the field goal to tie it.
Clock ticking.
He's got a timeout. He just used it.
Finally will spend it to make this In effect, a walk-off attempt to force overtime. The last thing you thought, Kurt, coming into this game was that Tyler Durbin would be a liability for Ohio State. Ultra consistent. Missed one early left. And this, basically an extra point, pushed left again. And now this senior from Fairfax, Virginia, has a chance for a measure of redemption, a 23-yarder to force overtime.
And it's been his technique on these first 2 attempts. And this is like you get in the heat of the moment. You're at the Masters. You're at the U.S. Open. You've got a 3-foot putt that you're standing over top of to win the Masters. Seems like an easy putt, right? When you're out at the practice green. The Masters Championship's on the line, and you got to make that 3-foot putt. That's what he's facing right here.
He began his career at James Madison as a soccer player. Played a couple of seasons there. Eventually walked on to Ohio State in the spring of 2015. He's become a component that Urban Meyer can count on. Now he's just got to do something he's practiced 1,000 times. Knock it through from 23 to get the Buckeyes even.
And let's keep an eye on Jim Harbaugh to see if he tries to freeze him. He's walking down to the official right now.
Headset has come off. Harbaugh's dragging on the ground. Doesn't call time. And Durbin this time knocks it through. Third time a charm. Teammates offering support. And with 1 second to play, Ohio State has finally gotten even, 17 apiece. And in the 113th meeting between these two great rivals, we will play the first overtime in the history of the game.
How fitting, considering what's at stake here. Number 2 against number 3 in this latest playoff rankings. But for these teams, it's not about a playoff ranking. It's about a Big Ten championship. Michigan, if they win, they're headed to Indianapolis. Ohio State, if they win, they need a Penn State loss to go to Indianapolis. But there are many that believe that Ohio State wins, that they're going to secure a bid in the playoff. So much at stake. Only fitting for it to be 17-17 and potentially headed into an overtime.
What a frenetic final few minutes. Michigan's defense was confused. Barrett had ripped off the big run. It was 1st and goal. All of a sudden, Ohio State trying to run tempo. They got discombobulated.
Sure
penalty, a sack.
Yeah.
More confusion in the backfield. And then Marcus Baugh stopped 5 yards short of the goal line on that 3rd down. Durbin back out there as the ball blows off the tee. And overtime, something that in a big game always creates a really uneasy feeling in a stadium, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Especially.
What are the odds they give Jabril Peppers a chance to return this kickoff?
0.0. Scoots it along the ground. See if the Wolverines have a little magic here. Jordan Lewis can dance free. Jordan Lewis has some space. Cuts back. Gets into Ohio State territory. Heart in mouth time for the Buckeye faithful as the All-American corner actually gave it a go, Kurt. Really comes down to a game that could be decided on any play from here on out.
And this hasn't been a finesse game for 60 minutes. This has been an emotionally draining, physically draining football game that now you find out 2 programs that pride themselves on the 4th quarter drill and getting that mental edge on who's in the best shape. That comes into play here, too.
Is it a factor that nobody on the Michigan side playing a meaningful role today has played in an overtime game? You have to go back late in the 2013 season, so maybe a few guys were freshmen in that game. They've not been in this situation, much less in a monster rivalry game. Ohio State has already won an overtime game, as we said last month.
Yeah, I think familiarity and the experience of it, just knowing what to expect. But just because Michigan hasn't been in games, you know that Jim Harbaugh has prepped and done everything he needs to have his team ready to understand how this unfolds and how the urgency has to be at a very all-time high during this period.
Here we go. Buckeyes from the 25. Barrett pitches out. Samuel has space. Slips as he cuts back, but skates inside the 10. 1st and goal, Buckeyes.
And they finally get Curtis Samuel to the outside. Well, it's the linebacker McCray. The defensive end Charlton collapsed down. Now it's a foot race. Look at the block by Noah Brown on Jordan Lewis. Big yards there for Ohio State on their first play in overtime.
It had to be Samuel, didn't it? 18 yards. Barrett running all the way and scoring standing up. That was easy. That's the first thing that's been easy all afternoon for this offense. When the chips are down, don't bet against Barrett. 100th career in this touchdown. The extra point now from Durbin. Nothing's been automatic, but he drives that through.
So Curtis Samuel on the first play picks up big yards. You think that caught the attention of the Michigan defense? Watch how he goes here. Watch the Michigan defense react, opening up a lane for J.T. Barrett. He gives it a little shoulder to the outside. There goes the Michigan defense. And look at the job by that offensive line. But the linebackers and the safeties' eyes were on number 4, Curtis Samuel.
Urban Meyer and the play calling group came up with a couple of really excellent plays before overtime, and the joint is jumping now. Seventeen unanswered points. Pressure on Spate and the Wolverine offense.
Spate has played with composure most of this football game. He'll need to be the leader here, not let this crowd and adversity affect him.
Play action. In the flat. Jake Butt. Knocked out at the 16. A yard short of the first down. When in doubt, go back to the reliable tight end.
And 1st and 10, play action. It's worked the entire night. The safety, Damon Webb, is slow in getting over, gets caught up in traffic. It's a crossing route. And a nice, safe call, but Webb late getting over. An easy read, easy throw there for the quarterback, Wilton Spate.
Smith knocked down. The spot will be just short of the first down. Joe Berger, a backup, in on the tackle. It'll be 3rd down.
Guy to keep an eye on for Ohio State in the middle of that defense is Draymond Jones, who's got great quickness, along with Robert Landers, number 67.
You take a chance here. You got 2 plays to get a half yard. Well, they hand it straight ahead, and Smith bounds down inside the 10. 1st and goal, Michigan. A quick hitter.
Yeah. Davion Smith, who had a career game last week against Indiana. I thought last week he showed great patience in his running style with those 2 big long runs. And right there again, just a slight hesitation to let that hole open up, and then he accelerated through.
4 plays to get 7 yards. Smith cuts it back. Fights just inside the 5. It has been a big struggle down here in tight for the Wolverines today. Hard work to get the final few yards.
Linebackers and safeties. That time it was Malik Hooker coming up and run support. Michigan thinking about either running the football and trusting that offensive line, or good time for play action to try to find a matchup that they like.
The toughest defense in college football all season long in this situation.
They leave their corners out there on islands at the bottom.
Spate looks in the flat and delivers incomplete. He fired it low for Hill. Never had a chance.
Now, that was a touchdown pass earlier to Hill, the exact same throw where they kind of snuck him out of the backfield. Linebacker Worley lost him on the touchdown, and this time had better coverage, but the throw never really had a chance.
2 plays to get 5 yards to stay alive.
If I'm Michigan, I'm anticipating pressure. You're thinking about the blitz here.
Smith, not much. And it'll come down to one final play from the 5, 4th and goal.
Surprised by the run from Michigan on 3rd down, and Tyquan Lewis had a stalemate on the edge to force him back inside.
This is it. Spate across the middle. Touchdown! Darboh went down low. There was hesitation on the call. What a catch by the senior who's dropped a couple. Spate wants to go for 2 in the win right here.
Ball is thrown low, Chris, but he gets his hands underneath it to secure that for a touchdown. He got away from Lattimore. The ball was thrown low, and Darboh gets underneath to make the catch.
You said he's had a couple of drops, would have been difficult catches, but no mistake here. Just caressing that football before it hit the ground. And there was some lobbying being done by the quarterback. He was holding up 2 fingers saying, let's go for 2 in the win, which remember is what Mark D'Antonio chose to do in regulation last week against Ohio State. Came up short.
Yeah, they're going to go for the extra point, it appears anyway. But we're talking a lot about Darboh. Did he get his hands under it? But Wilton Spate on 4th down, game's on the line, stands in that pocket with Sam Hubbard closing in on him and makes the throw.
Here's Kenny Allen, though. The extremely crucial conversion. It was a low snap put down by Moores, and we are headed to double. Well, Michigan's offense right back to work. They changed ends of the field.
Remember, they started that last overtime period with a nice play action to the big tight end, Jake Butt. See what they throw again on 1st and 10.
End around. Chesson just not able to break the tackle cleanly. Baker grabbed him. It's still a 5-yard gain.
Pretty good effort there by Jerome Baker to get outside, because it was very, very close to Chesson being able to turn the corner. And maybe there's nobody left other than Baker. He would have been able to take that to the end zone.
He is the fastest Wolverine, so he comes around, takes the handoff already at full speed. It's been hard to manufacture running yards today for the Wolverines. 2nd and 5. Smith into a clogged middle, picks up only a couple. McMillan again tackled him. 3rd down.
I don't know how many tackles Raekwon McMillan has, but we put him out on one of our impact players. Had everything to do with the kind of offense Michigan runs and how many opportunities he would get. These offensive linemen cannot climb to the 2nd level. He now has 16 tackles, leads the team. Give credit to not only his style, but also the defensive line of keeping him free from the linemen getting up to that 2nd level.
Shades of Chris Spielman's heroics against Michigan. Once had 26 tackles in this game.
1986.
3rd and 4. Spade has time. Delivers incomplete. And well defended by Conley. It's 4th down.
Wow, that is a good throw and a big-time play by Garyon Conley, turning his body around Perry to get the left hand there to knock it away. There's the right arm holding on to that right arm of Perry's. The officials do not see that, but the left hand ends up getting away to be able to knock the ball away.
Grab and turn, it's an automatic flag. You can get away with a momentary grab, and now Allen, who's been so clutch as a punter and a kickoff man, from 36 for the lead. Responds to the pressure, and Michigan goes on top. Ohio State can win it with a touchdown. This time the snap was a little high. Moore's had to bring it down.
You knew it wasn't going to be low after the last one. Moore's all over it, man. Another perfect hole. They're in great harmony there.
Practice that for what, 10,000 hours, hoping to execute in a moment like that.
Yep.
You don't think Kenny Allen appreciates that? Remember, Ohio State was scored in 2 plays in the top of the first of this overtime. Samuel on the edge, and then Barrett just waltzing into the end zone. Can win it. There's 6 here. Running all the way, picking his way, gaining 5. It's predictable, but so difficult to defend.
He's now all the way up to 27 carries on this game. I thought he might get between 20 and 25, but he's been their best running game, as he's been most of this year, up to 123 yards.
Weber motions out. Barrett sacked. Again, Taco Charlton along with Ben Gideon.
Well, it's again the right tackle, Isaiah Prince. It's a combination of great Taco Charlton, and watch Isaiah Prince. Does not get his arms extended, his hands out. Charlton is able to just get right around him with quick hands and just quick lateral movement around him. But boy, you'd think Isaiah Prince, they would use a back or a tight end, somebody to help him, because he is continuing to get beat to the outside.
Maybe that's 8 sacks for Michigan, almost equals half of the total Ohio State given up all season long. They need 9 on 3rd down. Barrett to Samuel. Can he make a bunch of guys miss? Cuts back. Retreating. Has blocks. Samuel still alive and stopped just short of the marker. That was adventurous. He could have retreated out of field goal range.
Urban Meyer's saying, hurry, get to the line, get to the line, get to the line. I don't know if he's going to call another timeout. Last time he did this, he called a timeout. This
4th down. It's the ball game if they can't get half a yard. And now again, a whistle from the Michigan side. They spend a defensive timeout. Almost came down to a few breathless seconds and a half yard needed.
Yeah, Urban Meyer was not hesitating. This time he was going for it, and I think they were going to go back to that zone read play. But I was with you, Chris. Curtis Samuel, well, it's a great effort. You're thinking, as he continues here, he's going deeper and deeper, making the kicker have to work that much harder potentially to go to a 3rd overtime.
He's bumping into a blocker. And finally, after all that fast twitch talent, he gets down within a half yard of the marker. Incredible. Because the fans were all thinking, no, no, no.
Yes, yes, yes. It's one of those plays.
Now you agree with the decision to go for it. Forget the field goal. Forget triple overtime. Trying to keep the drive alive and win it right now.
And it's 4th and a half a yard. There's probably 2 defenses in the country. It'd be Michigan and Alabama. It's tough to get a half a yard in this kind of scenario.
Wolverines need to stop. Then all the misery head to head.
Put both the backs, Samuel and Weber, both in the backfield.
Keeper. Hit! Right at the marker. The spot will decide it. Delano Hill got there. It looks like it's a 1st down. It is. Ohio State stays alive, barely.
They put both the backs in the backfield to try to give them the option to go left or right. But they put it into the hands of J.T. Barrett after the fake there to Samuel. See, he gets hit low there by Hill.
They're going to review the spot. They're going to review the spot. He was hit low, then ran into a couple of bodies high and knocked down. And this is going to be scrutinized by William Simons, the replay official.
Chris, you know, Hill hit him low, and then the senior Chris Wormley hit him high.
It's clear in Harbaugh's mind.
Yeah. I think when the forward progress would be when he's in the air, not where he lands. I think it's in the air right there.
And the ball in his right arm from that angle did appear to just break the plane before he hit the ground.
I don't think, again, if you go by where he landed, he looks like he's a half a yard short. If you go by where the forward progress is while he's in the air, I think he's right at the mark. What do you think, Dave?
Let's bring in Dave Kataya.
You're absolutely right, Kirk. It's where the fullest extension of the ball with defensive contact. So they're going to go with that forward spot, and now they've got to be able to tell whether it's short or not. This very well could be a stance, but they've got to get a really, really good look at it.
What's the call?
After review, the play stands as called on the field.
Which I agree with.
Very, very difficult to overturn a spot, especially in a spot like this. So first down, Ohio State, still 15 yards away from the goal line. Barrett, barely. Samuel cuts it back. Ohio State wins. Michigan's misery in this building continues. Ohio State perseveres and prevails 30-27 in double overtime.